Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Baltimore by Night. Uh if you can't tell, things are a little different. I am Storyteller tonight. Because Kevin's brain is mashed potatoes and we wanted to try something a little different.
Jeanette.
So we are doing a bit of a historical one shot again this time. And my alarm just went off. Sorry. And this one takes place in the Regency era. Kevin, remind me what years that is again?
Like 1810 to like 1830 something. Basically during the ending of the reign of George III when he went cuckoo and the future George IV took over running things.
We are in England in the town of Hastings, where everybody has been invited to a gigantic party. For what it's worth, this area of England, is ruled by a venture prince. She is not of the line of Mithras, but being a venture, she is endorsed by Mithras. But for this particular party, pretty much every clan is invited. There are going to be tons and tons of people here from every clan you could imagine, and possibly some you've never heard of before, as well as a good amount of mortals, as far as you know. Some of you have been given the opportunity to bring servants with you if you have allies or retainers. It's up to you how they do so, if they are there just as a servant, or if you have arranged to have them smuggled into the party under some as a different kind of, like, maybe they're supposed to be catering. And that's the other thing. All of you have a secret motivation. If you check your ambition, you have a very specific ambition that you are supposed to try and reach tonight. You may learn throughout the evening that some of them may be conflicting with other people's. So we will see where that goes. In the meantime, do you guys want to describe how you arrive? So the area where you guys are going to be headed is this beautiful Victorian mansion in the country, obviously. It is surrounded by this just absolutely elaborate garden filled with topiaries and this hedge maze and these beautiful fountains and whatnot. There's stables off to one side where you can house your wagons that you will undoubtedly be arriving in, because it's quite a bit of distance for some of you to travel. So, who do you think would arrive first? If nobody speaks up,
Callie.
I can just pick somebody.
Why are you fucking you go first, Kevin?
My character doesn't arrive first. He wants to make sure the sun is well and set before he gets there.
I can go first if that's all right.
All right.
Go for it.
So we have Edward Alexander Thomas. I guess he is, I got to roll, did not get a lot of chance to read through my character, but he is a powerful status, powerful influence, wealthy person. He might be he's at least known locally by a good amount of the city, or some of it anyway. He comes in, hair all like slicked back, a I guess like a dark blue suit. I'm not sure what else you guys would like to know. Average to handsome, but not like stat wise. Like
Particularly interestingly, Edward is actually the host of this particular event.
So
Oh,
why
shit.
the fuck did you?
well, that's
He
why
may
I
have been
went
coming
first.
from elsewhere, because this isn't necessarily his haven. This is an area that is going to be the host for a huge party.
I get there first to make sure everything is good. I talk to my main people, my herd and my Google, just to make sure that everything is ready. They're taking care of other things. They're talking to people on the outside, people on the inside, kitchen, etc., making sure everything's good to go.
Yeah, you do know that there will be quite a few mortals here, just so that there is plenty of feeding stock. So there is some real food going around and a good amount of wine, since there are some vampires that can still actually taste that.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And then I wait.
I'll go next. My name is Marina Darcy. I am she is younger looking by human standards, and is from France. She is dressed in very modern French fashions. A lot of frills, a lot of fanciness, a lot of bosom showing. But she has a very much of a baby face, like freckles everywhere, and her hair is decorated up with like big fake flowers and like little ribbons that hold her hair up in like little curls over her head. And she brings her violin because she is a musician, and she was definitely either asked to bring her violin because she likes to be the center of attention, of course. So she'll ask Edward where she should set up.
Miss Darcy, this way towards the entertainment room.
Thank you, dear.
Please let me know if you need any accommodations.
Glass of wine would be delightful.
And then the main person, my Google, whose name is Greg.
Write that shit down.
Is he a gargoyle by any chance?
No.
He's not a gargoyle.
I mean, Gregory, could you please fetch us some wine?
Absolutely.
Do you have a preference, Miss Darcy?
Red.
Of course.
And French, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. She just...
Yeah, he bows and vanishes off to the kitchens.
You're a peach. She does a little curtsy.
So inside the manor, all of the floors are just lavishly carpeted. You are led into this beautiful, like, sitting area that has these gorgeous, massive windows with obviously very, very thick curtains.
Mm-hmm.
That, since evening has already set, are now open to show the starlight, showing you the beautiful grounds beyond that are lit by these little like lanterns all along the path.
Excellent. Somebody else can go now. I'm good.
No one goes. I'll start picking people.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
So I arrive shortly after, driving my chase that is drawn by a single horse. It's a two-wheeled carriage with the cover, kind of closed over to give some shadow. When I pull up and disembark from the chase, I'm wearing the underdress is sort of this skin tone color, but over the top is a sheer sort of light blue covering with like butterfly sleeving. There's sort of golden kind of ruching down the collar that buttons down, and then along the bottom where it opens up and shows some of the underdress, and it's cinched at the waist by a blue belt, and it's got a lot of little designs all across it. And I carry a small, instead of a purse, I carry a small, looks like a little clipped closed box that's got some jeweled, accoutrement. And I'm wearing some yellow jeweled sort of open-toed tall shoes, and my hair is just drawn back and tied back, and the back of it kind of cascades down behind my shoulders. Earrings, but that's about all for jewelry.
Nice.
And it's brunette, light skin brunette. Sort of look around.
Yeah, so the entryway, the carriage opens up to that sort of immense broad front doors that are just absolutely beautifully carved. These gorgeous floral patterns carved into the doors. There's a pair of ghouls there that immediately open the door to welcome you in.
I leave my chase there expecting someone will take it where it needs to go.
Oh, there's definitely the equivalent of a valet. Going into the front entryway, there's these just absolutely beautifully massive curling staircases that go up to the second floor, or to this balcony that sort of looks over. And then off to one side is what's clearly the ballroom, which is set up with mostly just candles and a couple of small tables set around right now, and then the sitting room through which you may hear some music.
Yeah, I'm going to casually walk, not really introduce myself specifically to anyone unless I see who I would assume is the host.
I
and
would
just
come around the corner.
Yeah, and I'm taking in like observing the rooms and doorways and things like that.
And at this point, there are a few other folks here. It seems to be mostly servants moving around right now, as well as a few others. It's unclear, of course, at first glance, who's a ghoul and who's a vampire. But you would recognize the host approaching you.
And I give a brief curtsy. Good evening.
Slight bow. Greetings.
Thank you for the invitation.
You are quite welcome. Miss Sedgewick, I presume.
Indeed.
Oh,
Mr. Thomas, it is, right?
Correct. Thank you so much for obliging me. Would you like to start anywhere?
I think I'd just like to wander and take in the atmosphere. Anyone of interest, anyone fun to chit-chat with to begin with that you can point out?
Well, we do currently have a Miss Marina Darcy that's coming in. She has brought her violin, so she may be trying to entertain some of the staff that are currently here, and maybe the few little guests we currently do have. But
excellent. I will take it in and wander and observe for a bit, maybe say my hellos.
Very well. If you need anything, please let me know.
Brief nod, and then I will disappear through the door heading for the music.
Yeah, so you see this individual walk in, Marina.
I pay her no, like, I keep playing, but I do like eye her up and down, because I do so love to see competition, and I'm keeping an eye out for the person I'm looking for. So.
Yeah, you would definitely know exactly what they look like, and they have not arrived yet. But
Okay.
you can also tell that most of the people that are here so far are folks that are either not even kindred or so low on the totem pole that they're kind of below your notice.
Yes, of course. So yeah, she's just, keeping an eye. But she also plays fantastic. She's like, you might even have heard of her because she is famous, so, for her violin playing.
I will look on and appreciate the music.
Yeah, at this point you've gathered a bit of a small crowd. Mostly I'll say so far everybody here that you can see does appear lifelike, whether that's blush of life or that they are human, it's unclear. That's the other thing. If anybody would I will say everybody is a hunger 1. If you would like to do blush of life, you can.
Yes, of course.
Because you definitely would have had time to do so before you got here.
Yes. I would like to do that, please. I succeed.
I fail.
Also going to do that.
I succeeded.
Okay.
I succeed.
I'm good.
I may need to pour Lawrence aside to eat a tad bit later. Not right now. Guests are coming in.
Get a snack a little bit later in the night.
Lawrence, Clarence, and Monica. Mo.
God damn it! I was like, what is this? What?
It's not oh god, my brain is farting
Chimp?
up. No, Chandler and
Oh,
I was thinking
no,
also,
no.
I was also thinking
it's
friends.
still Three Stooges.
nice. Okay.
I also
Plus-
thought it was friends, but I was
Plus
like,
Greg.
definitely.
Plus Greg, importantly.
Yeah.
All right. So who arrives next? Now, note, this doesn't have to be super early. It could be a couple of hours later. It's just who wants to go next?
Please, just go.
I'll do it.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
think I saw someone about to speak, so I beat them. Okay, so a cart pulls up, not a cart, a carriage pulls up, and the front has a driver and a man. He is sitting in the front.
A man.
Yes. Regency, he rides up front.
Mhm.
He is a tall, handsome man, slightly swarthy with a rakish appearance. He wears one of those top hats with the open front shirt and those coats that are long and in the back, that Regency era suit looking thing. We've all seen it. He has like a touch of gray hair and a big mustache and a big smile and like a cane. And do people carry swords around?
Occasionally. I mean,
Decoratively.
yeah, it's more common with like military officers.
Or like
Okay.
masquerade balls.
Yeah, but also like it's a vampire party. Dressing up a bit eccentrically is not unheard of at all.
All right, he's dressed basically to fit in.
Yeah, you do know that carrying a sword to something like this, not outside the realm of possibility. Actually drawing it, strictly not okay, because this is Elysium.
Oh, it
And
is
everyone
Elysium.
here is protected.
I forgot to mention one other thing. I have a cape on.
We assumed.
Yeah.
Sorry. I forgot I was given a cape, so I had to mention it.
You could have it in like a bag or something, or in your
Oh, it's like the kind of situation where it's like sewn into the shoulders, so
Okay.
it is a cape, but it's like not tied in the front. It's just
Okay.
Keeps
part
your
of the
shoulders
dress.
dry in the rain.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's-
So
So
for the
Regency
style.
walks in. Like he belongs.
Mr. Lockhart. I
Sir
presume.
Thomas, you old horse.
Oh, you old so-and-so. How have you been?
As good as ever.
As excellent. Well,
Oh my god.
you know the place.
Yes.
Anyone you wanna? Well,
Yes, I'm aware. I don't need
Uh,
permission, but I appreciate it.
do note we
Mhm.
do have a few guests of where they mention a Marina Darcy and a Phoebe Sedgewick.
Oh, the famous violinist.
Hmm. So
That's right. It's not a
they-
viola.
they are in that room. He points, but anything, just let me know.
All right, thank you. As always, a great host.
Hmm.
And then he will go into the room and get a glass of the red.
Is that blood or wine?
We'll start with wine. We'll see where the night goes.
A gentleman after my own heart.
I think he'll just wait and listen to music and see who comes in.
So I'll say that at this point, one of the other recognizable guests walks in. Edward, this individual comes galloping up the walkway. No cart or anything, just on a horse. This absolutely massive black stallion, and this very
The
tall...
horse or the man?
This tall gentleman in sort of like riding attire, these thick heavy boots that are clean but have clearly seen some good wear and tear, with a very large sword strapped to his back, long dark hair pulled into a ponytail. You know this to be the Sheriff Gabriel Fletcher.
Sheriff Fletcher, welcome.
As soon as he pulls up, he sort of dismounts and slips off the horse instantly and just sort of affectionately taps its face, and it just immediately trots off to the stables without any reaction. Like, two of your ghouls go to like intercept it, to like lead it there, and it just starts walking there on its own accord.
Impressive control as always.
I know my beasts. It's a thing that I've take some pride in.
It is astounding.
Sort of just looks over the house. It's been a while since I've been here.
Yes, I made a few changes. Yes, you get it. But
Yes, of course.
we have guests. We have some drinks and a few little snackums, if you would.
Snackaroonies.
You know I don't indulge while working. The prince is not far behind. She should be arriving shortly. Any worries or things that I should be aware of? Points of entry that are...
Yes, we do have a few in the back. One for the garden, one for like the servants' entrance, etc. like that. We do have one on the side, but that's just, that just be note of that. And then obviously this big one. Other than that, don't believe we have any other, I don't have any other concerns, but if you have any questions, definitely let me know. A few guests of note at the moment. We have a Miss Marina Darcy, a Miss Phoebe Sedgewick, and a Mr. Regency Lockeharte.
Fabulous. Very well. I will take my leave of you and go explore the area then.
Enjoy your time as best you can on the clock.
And he just sort of like walks in, and you know that he's been through this. You've done this sort of hosting before. He tends to do like a roundabout of the building first and check all the rooms and everything, and then actually go around and meet guests. So you guys do see this individual walk in and take note of all the people in the room listening to the music, and then immediately ignore you and keep walking. And Marina, it's a little hard to. It's almost insulting.
Yeah, like how dare you? Unbelievable. You work
So-
so hard.
Who next?
Kevin wants to go last, so I guess me.
Just
Um,
like in college.
What?
what does that
Oh.
mean?
What?
Oh,
I'm so confused.
He
Always
wasn't
going-
invited to parties?
Yeah, always going last.
Okay. So just like you hear like a little bit of like crunching of footsteps, and the Miss Adelaide Knightley appears, her blonde hair put up into a nice bun, and gloves down her hands, and just a very like almost pure white dress, offset only by like embroidered and not very well embroidered flowers on the sleeves and on the bottom of the dress. And she comes into view of you in the front door, and she says, "Oh, hello, Thomas. How are you today?"
Miss Knightley, very good to see you. Up for your evening strolls?
Oh yes, I do love my evening strolls. You know this.
Yeah, Edward, you know that there are no buildings for several miles around.
Oh, I'm aware.
She likes to run, okay? We love a fit girl.
So is it a rather lively party? You know I love lively party.
It's certainly getting there.
Well, I will have to see for myself.
Yes. We have already arrived. Sheriff Gabriel Fletcher. We have a Miss Marina Darcy, a Miss Phoebe Sedgewick, a Regency Lockeharte, and maybe a few more have trickled in. So do make yourself at home, and if you need anything, please let me know.
I will be sure to let you know. And she walks in. It just the dress goes down past her shoes, so you don't see like, and the hem, like there's no dirt. It's like she's floating over the door.
Hot.
Yeah, so as soon as you walk in, you instantly, there are plenty of people mingling around, none that you recognize at the moment, though you do hear violin music and the soft, very muffled chatter of voices coming from one room.
I peek my head in the one where I hear the voices coming from.
You see this individual performing in front of a crowd of onlookers. Aya, why not? Do you want to roll your first the first roll of the night?
Sure.
It would be it would be charisma and performance, and I believe you would roll one extra because you have a specialty.
Yes, I do. Okay. Okay, hold on. I gotta get this actual dice out. Alright, so that's that. What's that?
The dog has given me the biggest puppy eyes because I woke him up.
Oh, that's so satisfying.
It's the best sound.
Woo! Okay, so I got 4 10s.
Wow.
You do not disappoint.
Yeah.
Are any of them on the hunger dice?
No,
Okay.
I got a 1 on the hunger dice though.
Okay. You still succeeded because you got 8 successes.
Plus another one because I got a 7 on another dice.
9 successes.
I
Yeah, it's amazing.
know.
I'll say at the point that Adelaide that Adelaide walks in, you really hit your stride, and the entire room just goes silent in just awe of how beautiful this is.
But yeah, put in some like violin music at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be like doing my thing, but I will also be scanning everybody that's paying attention.
Mhm. You do see at this point a couple of faces that you recognize, none that are like named figures. You don't see any of the Primogen or elders yet. And you don't see the person that you're specifically looking for, though you do expect that she typically likes to make an entrance.
Yes, of course. I mean,
Wait until things are like going through. Also, chances are she'll probably try to wait until after the prince arrives because she wouldn't want her entrance to be stood up by the arrival of the prince.
yes. I mean, I'm only associated with the most dramatic of people. And I, while I'm up here, will wink at anybody who I think is cute. So, just to be spicy. You make of that what you will.
I'm just wondering if you wink at 2 of the PCs that are in the room.
Yes.
Now it's a party.
Yeah, of course. I do think her eyes are getting a little red because she does get emotional when she plays the violin. So it's like a little bit of a little flesh in the cheeks, as it were.
Okay, fuck it. I'm like rolling a random dice and it keeps coming up with the same number. So I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna pick one.
Look who's here, it's Kevin.
So Kevin, do you want to describe your character next?
Yeah, I guess I guess since I'm the last one. Seeing if we could go the whole session without talking.
No.
So pulling up in a nice carriage is my character. A teenage boy comes around the carriage to open it up, pull out the steps so that I can walk down. And my character, he's dressed in a more modernized Ottoman style clothing. So he's got like a double buttoned military style tunic that kind of goes down to the knees, white trousers, the black shoes, the fez going on, but he's also wearing red tinted sunglasses. And he's got they existed. I did check that.
Well, no, I know it sounds like fucking Dracula from the 90s Dracula movie.
He's got a fez, not a top hat, and his the jacket is a bluish color. He's wearing like it's got those big old fluffy epaulette things with the extra frills. He's got the gloves on that everybody at the time basically wore. He just comes out and starts walking to the door. He initially had like a cloak kind of on, and he just pulls it off to put around his arm so that when someone comes, he can just throw it at them.
Yeah,
Just,
one of the
Ibrahim, I assume.
Kemal.
Kemal. Yes, if that is all right with you.
Yes.
And then
And you
someone come
are?
by. Edward Alexander Thomas.
Oh, that's complex. I shall call you Ed.
If that is what you wish.
Yes. Your Anglican names are so hard to pronounce sometimes.
Occasionally, yes. I won't argue with you there. So, please, have you had a long journey?
Oh yes, very long.
Okay. Please come enjoy yourself. Somebody comes up and offers to take your cloak.
Nah.
And there are refreshments and there are guests.
Are they the same thing?
Are you? It's
Some.
sometimes. I would probably ask you to ask first, just in case. We do have a mixed batch in tonight. So maybe, but we have some on standby specifically. So if you need, I can have someone show you where the specific refreshments are.
I have a very particular taste, so hopefully I will not need refreshments tonight.
All right. If you need anything, please do let me know.
Oh.
Care to find out who of note might be in so far?
Sure, why not? Let's meet the everyone around here, right?
All right, kind of pulls you in a little bit and just kind of points you to the different rooms. We have a Marina Darcy, a Phoebe Sedgewick, and a. Did Regency go in there?
Yeah, he's in the room.
Yeah, Regency Lockeharte. Did Adelaide go in there? Yeah, and Adelaide Knightley. Those are of some note. Also note we have Sheriff Gabriel Fletcher somewhere roaming the house, at which you will most likely meet later.
Nice, I guess. Yes.
Just giving you a heads up. But yes, peruse if you like. Make yourself at home. If you need anything, please do let me know.
Oh, make myself at home. Thank you.
Yes, that's what I said.
I started the room, just looking around.
Yeah, so you walk in, you can see that the front entryway leads to these beautifully curved staircases that go up to the second floor with a balcony that looks over. You're guessing that's probably like bedrooms, offices, that sort of thing. Off to one side is the ballroom, which is gathering a bit of a crowd. There are a handful of people walking around, drinking from wine glasses, some of which you can smell is wine, some is not. As well as a handful of folks sitting on various couches and things, feeding from others. And then you do hear the sound of very beautiful music coming from the other room.
Trying to the other room where basically every PC is.
Yeah.
I'm like, hello. I am Kemal.
Excuse me, I was in the middle of something.
You do get a few people that shush you.
Yeah, where I come from, it's proper to introduce yourself when you walk into a room.
And then I do like a fantastic, beautiful flourish of an ending. I just do a and let the other musicians take over.
Yeah, so a handful of others step up. You know that these individuals are a handful of minor Toreador up-and-comers that step in to take over.
Excellent. And I walk over to Kemal and I say, "Hello, my name is Maria Darcy. Who may you be to be so rude to interrupt me?"
Name is Kemal. In my area, where I come from, you introduce yourself when you walk into a room.
Yes. Well,
Marina, you said? That is what? That's a complex name. How do you spell it?
Do not make me spell things. I'm dyslexic.
What the hell is a dyslexic? Is that like is that close to a Basque person? Maybe a German?
I'm French, actually.
I'm so sorry.
What a dick, I love him.
No wonder you're.
Gumby, where are you from?
It's called Turkey. I think no. Is it called Turkey at this moment? No. Simple. Damn it! I don't know what would be Turkey nowadays.
Regency Turkey.
Yeah,
Looks at the
called?
camera and winks.
yeah. I think it had that name at this time because it used to be
It might
Persia.
it might be Istanbul still.
Istanbul. Well,
I
that's
thought that was
a
a
city.
city.
Yeah.
I just
According
want
to
to
that
make
song
Yeah,
you're
I
all
don't know.
familiar with.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's within the Ottoman Empire, so yeah,
Yeah.
it still should be called Turkey at this time. I was right. Yeah, go.
Yes. Turkey.
Mhm.
Let me see.
Or the Ottoman Empire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It all tracks now, your fiendish behavior.
Ouch. We are not from that area of the world.
Regency is watching this.
And she says, if you will excuse me, I have more important people to talk to. And I turn to Regency and I say, Maria.
Regency, my friends call me Reggie.
Nice to meet you, Reggie.
It was a marvelous violinism.
Oh, thank you. I try hard and I play hard.
It shows. Who was that boorish fellow that interrupted?
Oh, some nobody from Turkey.
Well, I was there once and I don't remember any of it.
Yes, I didn't have the pleasure of going there, but someday on my world tour I will.
They had beautiful dancing.
Oh. Do you like to dance?
Nope. I know it when I see it.
I see. Such a shame, though. You do have some good feet.
Thank you. I ordered them from Lloyd's.
What?
Lloyd's of London, the famous
Yeah.
company. Makes shoes.
Wonderful.
Do you know Mr. Thomas? Have you been to his parties before?
We've met once or twice, crossed paths, but I am new to this country.
They're quite something. You never know what's going to happen.
It's true. The English are so predictable and yet fun.
That's what they tell themselves.
Well, I am charmed to meet you.
Yes, all right. We'll run into each other later, I'm sure.
Of course. And if you do care to try to dance, I would love to show you.
We'll see how the time goes.
She'll do a little curtsy.
He'll kiss the hand like they do,
as you do.
and then wander off.
Yeah, I'll let somebody else do something.
At this point, another gentleman enters in. He arrived in this just absolutely massive gilded carriage drawn by 4 white horses.
4 white horses when he comes.
Gets out wearing this just absolutely beautifully tailored jacket that probably cost a small fortune. And nods to you as he approaches Edward. You know this to be a Ventrue elder in the city, Benedict Pembroke.
We're
There, Cumberbatch's here!
We
Benedict
knew it!
Pembroke.
Holy shit, dude.
We knew it.
You know that he is not actually the Ventrue Primogen because the prince is a Ventrue, but he kind of would have that role if it was allowed. You know that he got his vast wealth because he owns a very, very prosperous jewel mine, and is something of a any extremely fancy jewels that you might find amongst the kindred oftentimes came from him and his shops.
What was the last name again?
Pembroke.
Pembroke.
Benedict Pemberley.
Mr. Pembroke. Lovely to see you
Mr. Thomas. Lovely to see you.
How goes the mining business?
Fabulous. It's been many years since I've been there, but my ghouls have been maintaining things well. It's doing well. A couple accidents, but these things happen.
Well, you can't make omelets without breaking a few eggs, but that is excellent to hear.
He is a much older gentleman, white hair, a bit of a white beard that he keeps trimmed. So, tell me, has the prince arrived yet, or have I beat her?
Not quite yet. Hopefully soon. The sheriff, Fletcher, is in. They said they should be arriving shortly.
Well, if he's here, then she's not far behind.
Indeed. But
he's not around, is he? Last time we spoke, he and I had a bit of a well, let's just say his bark is it's more pleasant than the bite, but both are quite unpleasant. You're cool. And he'll
sorry.
You're fine.
Yes, he did make the rounds a little bit earlier. I'd assume he may be wrapping up shortly. So he may be joining the rest of the guests soon. But with him, it's hard to tell.
I'll do my best to avoid
him. Yes. If you need anything, do let me know.
Of course. And he strides in. And I will say, Phoebe, if you would give me a wits and awareness test, please.
Of course. Wits and awareness. 4 dice.
I'll say, Marina, just because you are keeping an eye out on who's walking in and whatnot, you do see this individual walk into the room.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell, like, this guy's got money. Like, he looks like it. And actually, no, you've been around the block. You know this individual by name and by status. He's one of the most powerful Ventrue in this area, aside from the prince herself.
I got 4 successes.
Okay, so you do spot him before he spots you. And Phoebe knows this individual because he knows her, and he believes that she has stolen from him in the past, but he was not able to prove it and has a bit of a sore spot about it. He is your adversary.
What is his name?
Benedict Pembroke. I put it in the
Oh, that's him. Oh, lovely. Oh my.
So it's up to you if you would like to do anything to avoid this individual or not. But you do know that it's not like he can do anything to you here. But
good time for a taunting.
We only have tonight, right? I'm going to walk up.
YOLO and all of that.
And
Yolt.
Give him
You only live twice.
The most charming smile I can muster. Do a small curtsy and put out my hand for him to greet me and say good evening.
Miss Sedgewick, I did not expect to see you at such a prestigious event.
Because you underestimate me, as you always do.
Well, one tends to expect a certain kind of how do you say?
Are you looking for
Limitedness
class?
for the guest list for an event like this? And well,
Hence why I'm on it.
Apparently, Mr. Thomas and I have different opinions.
Mr. Thomas only has the best of opinions.
Mm.
He's got an eye for people. That's why he invited you, I assume.
You would assume. But it seems he's just invited everybody in the greater country then.
Oh, no, don't even think that. We just don't know each other well enough, my friend. Once we do, you'll find that you've been completely wrong.
I tend to be a bit more careful these days of those that I invite into my domiciles.
A good practice, let me tell you. But it's lovely to see you. I won't keep you. I just wanted to make sure that I made my hellos.
I appreciate it.
I will flick my hair and gracefully walk across the room. I don't hide. Well, not for this anyway.
So at this point, what's Adelaide doing?
I'm looking around.
You don't see the person that you're waiting for yet. Unfortunately, but you do know that you'll recognize them, obviously, and you'll recognize the person they're with pretty instantly, and they're typically pretty recognizable. This individual just sort of wanders over and sits down to listen to the music. And at that point, the sheriff does make another appearance, sort of stepping into this room, doing once over, and you can clearly see like he's checking every window and exit and things, and
Checking everyone out.
oh yeah, like doing a once over of the room, spots Pembroke and like narrows his eyes, but then keeps looking around.
I'll approach Edward. So,
Yes.
put my hand on your shoulder. Ed, I have a valuable item I would like to have stored safely for the night and to the morning. Could you by chance show me where your safe is for safekeeping?
Safely.
Yes.
Safely?
Yes, we do have a safe or two. I am still waiting for our honored guest, you could say. But Gregory, yep, there you are. Please show Mr. Kemal.
Kemal, yes.
He has an item he was just to store. Is this a large item or a smaller item?
Oh, smaller item, about the size of a bread box.
Okay.
Oh yes, let's talk about your items.
Yes. Go ahead and show him. I guess it doesn't matter. The safes are in the same room anyway.
Yes, a safe room.
It is a safe room. We do keep it locked. So if you do need entrance back into to retrieve your item, please fetch myself or Gregory right here. But please go show him the way.
Thank you, my good man. As I also look at Gregory, it's like, man, the two of you are like, you and Edward look just much alike. Let's go.
Thank you, sir. Give me a second. I'm looking at private messages.
Regency is going to try one of the little cakes.
Do you have the eat food?
I do, yes.
Merit? Oh,
I'm taking advantage of it
So
by
do
eating
I.
food.
I mean, nothing really quite tastes anything like it should anymore still, but for a moment or two, it's nice to try and remember what it would have been like.
A nice solid texture can be different than what we normally consume.
Indeed. I'll talk to Phoebe though. I'll walk over and be like, well, that was an interesting conversation you just had. Seems like you are a very lively person.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and I just wanted to make sure I said my hellos to Mr. Pembroke. We've run into each other here and there in the past, and, I always like to let him know when I'm in the room.
Of course, everybody wants to be seen and noticed.
Well, you have no trouble doing that. My goodness, you are quite skilled with that instrument of yours.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Maria Darcy. What is yours?
Phoebe Sedgewick.
It is so nice to meet you.
You as well.
I hope we can be great friends.
Oh, that would be very nice. I love making new friends, Sometimes those friendships are for just an evening or two, and sometimes they can last in a, number of lifetimes if you meet the right person and you move on through the afterlife together, I suppose. But yes, it's I just love these events. They're so exciting.
Oh, I do as well. There's always something that happens, always some, something or other that just livens up the whole night, and it gets quite spicy.
Oh, I just think it's fun when you put a bunch of people in a room or at a gathering and you just watch what boils over.
Oh, indeed. I've seen so many times in the French court how many instances can happen in one night.
Well, the French court, oof. I don't think anything can really compare to that.
It really can't. I
No.
haven't seen it yet, but I wish to very, very much.
Yes, I
Hope
think
to
we could
bring
be
in
friends.
all the entertainment tonight.
I'm looking forward to it.
As am I. Does anybody else want to do something?
Yeah, I'll approach Adelaide.
Ooh.
Hello, Miss Knightley. You seem to be at a loss.
Oh, hello, Mr. Lockeharte. I am currently well.
I'm glad that you are well.
That is very funny. I am well, that is true. But everything else is well, I would have to talk to Mr. Thomas about this, but I do not like any of the fixtures in this room. I think he should have it changed.
They're a bit shiny.
Yes. I think
Garish, you might say.
a little bit. Have you met anyone interesting this night?
Oh, the violinist seems
yes.
quite interesting.
Miss Darcy, it was such lovely to hear her. You could tell she's just like looking around you, just like like a little bit, but she's paying attention to the conversation.
He's leaning to try to get in the way of your eyesight.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Are you looking for someone?
No, not particularly. It's just, well, it's.
Please, you can tell me.
I heard a rumor that the violinist is not who she says she is. I don't believe that she is actually from the French Quarter. I believe that she is spouting nonsense to gain attention.
That's interesting. She hardly needs it with the violin skill like that.
Hmm.
I've heard that that Mr. Pembroke that just arrived, he doesn't seem to be very close to any of the other guests. He doesn't seem very well liked.
That is odd.
A man of his wealth and influence, you'd think everyone would love him.
Yes, you would think that everyone would be in his company.
Who wouldn't like a rich person? We know the best things. We have the best clothes,
Hmm.
the parties.
Yes. Oh, the parties are wonderful. I do think that I am going to go for a little stroll. Do not let me hold you up. I will see you after a while. It was good to see you. And then she curtsies. And then she just walks off.
All right, then.
What is her issue with me? The fuck?
Interesting crowd tonight.
And I'll say that at that point, Edward, you actually see a large group of individuals approach. Looks like several different like carriages that sort of made into a bit of a convoy. They must have run into each other on the road. And at the front, you recognize the white carriage of the prince. You've seen it a time or two before. It's not as ostentatious as some of the others, but very clearly well cared for, drawn by these two beautiful white speckled horses. When it pulls up, the driver immediately jumps out and opens the door, and out steps Prince Elizabeth of Kulenburg, the elderly white-haired Ventrue prince that you've spoken to a time or two before, and she sort of looks to you.
I give a bow and just,
Edward.
Your Majesty, welcome.
Prince is fine.
As you wish.
Yas, queen.
Stop. No. Not a thing.
It's a Turkish phrase.
I don't remember if I invited him.
It's a Turkish phrase.
But welcome to my humble abode. I hope it is to your liking.
It's appropriate. I do like some of the updates. It's been a few years since I've been here.
Yes, it's been too long.
I assume our good sheriff has gone and done his rounds of his typical skullduggery of ensuring that everything is safe.
Yes, I believe they already completed. I think they came back and joined the rest of the guests.
Lovely. There are many behind me, but I just, of course.
Of course,
You can
yes.
see now different ones getting out, and sort of like there are a handful where like they're literally sticking their heads out the windows to see what's going on and everything.
Right. Yes, well, refreshments and entertainment are inside. Please do make yourself at home. And any issues, even the smallest of nuisances, please let me know, or find my good assistant, Gregory. You remember Gregory, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't see him though.
Oh, he was busy helping another guest to the safe room. Very diligent, very good man, yes. But
Speaking
please
of,
enjoy yourself.
heading up the stairs. Kemal, this individual leads you up these beautifully winding stairs, past several closed, some bedrooms that are sitting open, several closed doors, one that looks to be like a library. Oh, rip.
Jeanette.
She wants to hit the axe by accident again.
Her computer shut down, she said in the
Oh
Discord.
no.
Okay.
No, not an update. They made them updates.
My God, she had the vapors. Can vampires do that?
Apparently.
She got the cold. Oh gosh.
And it's
She'll
because
fucking die.
with a roving uterus.
What?
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh.
That's where the term hysteria comes from.
Oh, oh, it's so painful. Anyway,
I bet it would be if it was the thing.
you pass this library and what seems to be an office, another office before he sort of fumbles with a large set of keys and unlocks a door for you. Opens it into this very nicely decorated office. What would Edward's office and safe room look like?
It's pretty tame. Like it is literally like the safes are inside of a door, so it just kind of looks like a closet. And it is just like a desk and maybe like a couch. It's very, very simple.
Would the safes be hidden or would they be a bit more obvious?
If the doors were open, very obvious. Just it's another layer of protection. But right now they're closed, and I'm assuming also locked. Different set of keys.
Well, I'm wondering, like, are they behind paintings and shit, or?
Oh no, it's just like in a separate room.
Okay. Yeah, so he steps further into the room and
not had time to put him in behind paintings yet.
Goes to unlock the door.
Who has time to sit for portraits anymore?
With a different key, opens it up. We have several different sizes. I believe this one will be adequate for your needs, and leads you over to this one that's about the size of like a decent sized modern TV.
Can you open it up to make sure?
Certainly. Yeah, I guess these would still have keys. It wouldn't be like a combination lock, right? This time period?
Key works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He unlocks it. Inside, is there anything of interest inside it?
I'm looking for statuette. Probably about this tall.
Would it be in this safe, do you think, Edward?
How big was this safe?
About the size of like
a 32-inch.
Yeah.
Like,
TV.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Sure, it's in here.
Excellent. I just pull the glasses down, just look over at Greg. It's like, Greg, thank you. And as he stares at me, I use dread gaze on him.
Okay. He needs to roll a thing, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see.
He needs composure and resolve.
His retainer.
He's a 2-dot retainer, if that makes any
Average
difference.
mortal. Okay.
Not my best pool, but it'll work.
You said it was what again, Kevin?
It was
That he's rolling?
composure plus resolve. Composure.
Okay.
Also, they can have set numbers since if he's just a regular, if you want.
So he got 2.
I got 2.
Oh. So I think for that one, it would be considered a failure. So he can defend himself, but he can't act against you, correct?
Correct. He is basically petrified in fear.
Yeah, he just immediately starts like backing up and the keys start jangling loudly as he's shaking
Hmm.
and just backs into the corner of the room.
Just look at it. Okay, so he's fearful. All right, so as he is fearful and can only kind of defend. Let me do a rouse check here. Ooh, don't get. Oh, I should get a little bit.
Greg, no.
Nope. Let me mark something.
Rip.
I forgot to mark something here.
I thought you said merc something at first, and I was like, well, rip.
Nope.
Yeah. So Greg just sees my mouth kind of enlarge and 2 large fangs, and I try to bite.
All right, go for it.
So that is utilizing feral weapons.
Cool. I don't remember what that does.
It basically turns my adds extra 2 modifier to my brawl damage, and it's aggravated against mortals.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ghouls
Sorry,
are still
Greg.
ghouls are still considered mortal, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just heal faster, but he'd have to survive first.
Just double check.
Knowing my rolls though.
Knowing my luck.
You can roll for him if you want. He would have 4 dice to avoid getting his throat bitten out.
Sure, why not? I'll leave the fate of Greg in my hands. Just for any no hunger because he's not a vampire, right?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. All right, Godspeed, Greg.
It was nice knowing you.
You're a good lad.
1 success.
Ooh.
So I just look around, close the door, grab the statuette, and then let's see. Rouse check. Yes, and slowly over the next few minutes turn into a gigantic ass snake, which then I
Okay.
proceed to eat Greg.
Oh, no.
Oh,
He's a
that's so
terrible
sad.
guest.
One thing.
So like this is
One
a
thing,
weird
real
thing
quick.
because like as a gigantic snake, you would still have like a person in you, but then when you turn back to a vampire, you wouldn't, would you?
I don't know. I was going to see how that scene works
Well,
out
okay,
later.
No, hold on. Yeah, I'm thinking, and I could be wrong, but he would just get compressed like a can.
You just turn him into a gusher at that point.
Yeah.
Oh god, he just liquefies in your stomach.
Yeah,
That's
it's
Better
just-
fast and
disgusting.
slow.
yeah.
May I say something?
Yes,
You
please.
bastard.
No, Greg.
You were so young. This was even before you became a gargoyle.
That Greg Rita is a vampire currently.
Yeah, he's old
Sorry.
as shit.
You can have my Farouk.
It's not the same. He was perfect.
So, meanwhile, downstairs, you guys all definitely hear the commotion of people recognizing the prince arriving. And then behind her are several others. This very stern-looking woman wearing like the equivalent of like a older baronet's outfit that approaches from her carriage. She actually just gets out and like waves the ghouls off and strides up the rest of the walkway herself. Selena Beaumont, you recognize her as one of the Tremere in the city that is currently head of the chantry.
Miss Beaumont, excellent of you to come.
I couldn't miss an invitation like this. I've heard that it will be very interesting, to say the least.
Well, one can try.
I believe one of my retinue is here, Miss Darcy. Have you seen her about?
Yes, they were entertaining some guests earlier in that room over there. I would assume they're still in that location, but if you need assistance finding them, please just let me know.
And while the two of you are talking, this individual steps out of sort of clambers out of this carriage that is very clearly not anything very fancy, and they're sort of hunched over with a big cloak over their head, head down, and sort of dragging behind him is dragging a ghoul behind him. He sort of just shoulders past you. You recognize this individual as the Nosferatu primogen.
Okay.
Simeon Reeves. He's sort of hunched over, long dark hair that obscures his like sickly pale face and just absolute mauve shark teeth.
All right, and just real quick, Mr. Reeves, anything you need, please let me know.
Yes, of course.
Enjoy.
And just sort of like shoulder checks past you.
Nice help.
Adelaide, this and the person with him is who you're looking for. And he immediately beelines through the front door and between the stairs and out to the back where the gardens are.
I follow.
And the stroll got a lot more intense all of a sudden.
The prince and the sheriff reunite and talk for a second amongst themselves, and the sheriff like makes note of people moving in and out and sees Pembroke, the jeweler, the mine owner, the jewel mine owner, make his way out to the gardens as well, seemingly following the Nosferatu.
Oh, I'm gonna follow too.
And Adelaide at this point.
If I see a mass movement to the gardens, Phoebe is going to casually follow.
So while they head to the garden, are Regency, Marina, and Ed doing anything?
I'm trying to find somebody to dance with.
Can we tell from the inside that there's a bunch of people outside that just do we know that the prince showed up?
Yeah, you recognize her instantly. If only just, even if you've never seen her before, you can tell from the level of respect that that the sheriff shows her. From the demeanor, he tends to hold himself where he doesn't show a lot of respect to the majority of folks in the room, except for her.
Well, I would go follow the crowd, I think, if everyone is doing a crowd thing.
Yeah, you can see that there was a bit of a backup as everyone basically waited for the prince to show up. Marina, you find yourself dancing with this very charming, rakish young man with just this wild mass of curly hair and elaborate top hat, who introduces himself as Ambrose.
It's so delightful to meet you, Ambrose.
You as well. I was absolutely blown away by the music that you make. It's incredible. I dare say I've only ever heard things like that in Paris, in the depths of Toreador country. I must know. Do you perform here often? Is this a recurring thing? Is there like a space that you frequent?
Well, I just came from Paris itself, but I am looking for a place to let my voice be heard, as it were. So I have not found a place here. No, not yet.
Well, I personally tend to make I do a bit of traveling. I tend to spend a bit more time in London. I'm a bit of a free spirit in that. Prefer to stay moving. I maybe sometimes can work tempers up rather quickly.
Don't we all? If we're the fun kind of people.
Meanwhile, out in the garden. So this Nosferatu gentleman sort of makes his way down into the gardens. There's like a balcony, a stone balcony with this beautifully carved fountain. And then stairs that lead down on either side of it into the hedge maze. And he immediately heads into the hedge maze.
There is some lighting, sparse, but there is some lighting just so people don't get entirely lost. And just in case people wanted to come out into the garden and peruse the maze.
And there are a few people scattered throughout the maze that you can see. Quite a few couples off in the maze, possibly feeding, possibly other things, who knows. And I will say, Jeanette, your character was just following, right? You weren't trying to actually intercept anybody?
Exactly.
Okay. Also, can you change your name real quick so we can remember?
Oh, yeah, Phoebe.
I
got booted, so it reset.
And I will say, Adelaide, you and Benedict Pembroke sort of took off after this individual at the same time. So if you would like to try and beat Pembroke to this pair, you can roll, I'll say, how would you like to do that? Or would you like to? Or do you want to wait and see what he does? You're muted.
I'm gonna unmute.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna wait. And then I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna let him go in front of me because I do believe that he is going. This may work in my favor. So I'm going to let him continue on, and I will just blend into the shadows a little bit.
And Pembroke just sort of like immediately breezes past you, doesn't even react to you at all, and just actually completely ignores the ghoul to the point that he almost steps on them, approaching this individual. And you hear them talking. The Nosferatu says something to the ghoul, who does a deep bow and sort of wanders off to the side of the maze and sits down on a bench. And the two of them wander off to the side, still within sight of this ghoul, but a little further away so that they can't be heard. And they are talking in voices where it's very clearly animated, but not angry and they're not like aggressive. And you can't really make out what they're saying, but
I'm gonna get a little bit closer. Can I?
do you want to describe what this school is like?
I haven't really thought about it. Yeah, I think it's a dude. Like tall, blonde hair, curly, and like I don't know. And then I think that she would make her way up to him. Still kind of staying in the shadows. And she goes, "Hey."
So question, are you actually trying to hide or?
What before I go up to him, I'm going to cast, or I'm not cast, I'm gonna do vanish.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just like,
yeah, so the other two are too distracted to notice. Phoebe, you see Adelaide just vanish. Like she was there 1 second and it was like you blinked and she was gone.
You can't do that if somebody's watching you.
You can if you have vanish.
Yeah, vanish is different.
Okay. Because I have a hidey thingy.
You do, but you don't have the 4th level one.
Okay. Someday I'll be as cool as Adelaide.
Yeah, he immediately jumps. I'm not supposed to be talking to you.
that's okay. I'm not supposed to be talking to you. But it's good to see you.
I would say the same, but
so I'm gonna get you out of here.
I don't know. He's mad. Apparently he sort of nods over. They had some kind of deal and it didn't go well, and Simeon was supposed to do something or another and it didn't work. Apparently the information that the old man gave him wasn't accurate. But either way, he's pissed. He doesn't want to let anybody out of his sight. It's
Do you know what the information is? Possibly.
so apparently Pembroke's mine is not as full as it should be, and my master was supposed to get him the deed for somebody else's, but when we were going to steal it, but when we broke in there was a lot more resistance than we thought. And the deed wasn't there at all. So I don't know if he just had bad information or like it was a setup and he was trying to get us caught or what. And at this point, you can see that their argument is getting much more heated. And this Nosferatu is pissed. And he's starting to like stand up and his back is on hunching. And you can see now that he is very, very, very tall, which is deceptive considering how much he had been crouched over, to the point now he is towering about a head and a half over this Ventru, who is unflinching and pissed. Is Phoebe just watching still? We can't hear you, dear.
I'm muted. I am watching, but would I be able to summon some ravens with feral whispers to sort of get... I want to pick up all conversations that are happening here. I need some friends.
Absolutely.
I think I need to do, what, charisma and animalism to see if I summon them successfully?
I think so, yeah.
All right, let's see. Charisma and animalism is...
Remember that you add an extra dice because of your blood potency.
Okay, so... 2... 6, okay, 6. God bless.
The flyback.
It's still in the room. I couldn't get it out.
I got 4 successes.
All right. Does it say how many you need?
Oh, good question. Let me look.
I know it was
Doesn't
somebody's
s-
chair squeaking, but it almost sounded like a seagull.
Ah, damn, I messed up. Summoned the wrong bird. Here.
Ah!
No, it doesn't specify there.
Okay. So I will say that, yeah, you can gather a flock of ravens. Yeah, so they start sort of appearing, fluttering in and landing on the hedges around you. I don't think you can hear through their ears or anything, but
I'll
you
have to
might be
chat
able
with
to
them
talk
later.
to them later. Yeah.
And then can I find a shadowy corner to cloak myself in shadows?
Sure.
Because I can't just vanish, so I have to get out of sight.
Yeah, you are at the back of this group and are able to slip away unseen.
And with unseen passage, I can move about once I'm
True.
cloaked. So I shall do that and sort of... I think I want to hear mostly the argument between my dearest friend,
Mhm.
Benedict, and this fellow who is getting very animated.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at that.
So,
I think Reggie would also be interested in this big argument, if it's possible to
yeah.
idle around and try to catch an insight on what's up. Listen to that. I don't have any of those special powers. Everyone's disappearing. He just has to be circumspect and
Mhm.
similar words.
Yeesh. Actual fuck.
It's important to get gossip.
Give me a second. Yeah, so you are able to make your way down to the garden, and you can see, like, you saw a bit of a crowd heading that way. And then you do very clearly see Pembroke, who stands out very starkly in his like bright white attire in the darkness down here, especially next to this imposing cloaked figure that's at this point nearly like 6.5 feet tall or so, towering over him, arguing rather loudly at this point. It's hard to make out exactly what they're saying, just because they are sort of next to a fountain that's drowning out a little bit of the noise. However, Phoebe, your birds definitely can hear it. So, they're arguing, and you hear the Nosferatu. So, when I arrived, I found an entire legion of La Sombra crawling all over this place. Everywhere I looked, shadows that tried to eat me, Pembroke, tried to eat me. Do you know what it is like to be trapped in a La Sombra shadow? It is... I would say that it is almost comparable to the embrace, but I am sure that yours was much more enjoyable than mine. And at that point, Pembroke sort of, you don't know anything about what my embrace or my history was like. I apologize for the information. I had no idea that it was going to be a haven of their kind. I did not know that it was going to be so closely guarded. But I assume you at least have an indication of where to find the true deed.
True D.
Deed.
True
Oh.
nuts.
True that.
Oh, the powerful True D.
Nosferatu. I have some ideas, but they have their stink on me. I've been noticing shadows getting longer everywhere I look. And at that point, he like actually looks around, and all of you see him like very paranoid, like watching every dark shadow. And at one point, he even looks like directly where you are, Adelaide. And for a half second, you're like, ah, fuck. But then just keeps looking around. He does, however, spot the ravens. And he reaches out and he puts his hand on Pembroke's shoulder, and Pembroke just immediately like stiffens angrily and reaches for the sword on his hip. He says, I think that perhaps this may not be the best place to have this discussion. Regency, you have approached and see this interaction of the two of them, of him put his hand on his shoulder and see the venture sort of just stiffen and go like, oh. And you see this ghoul sort of sitting by himself awkwardly, muttering to himself occasionally.
It's the ghoul of a
Ravens.
Nos. That doesn't seem all that unusual.
No.
Maybe he has a
Ravens
pet
scattered
rat.
all over the place, which you haven't actually seen any animals so far other than them. That's a little odd, but
What a curious garden. Guess I'll keep
and
my eye on the ghoul as well.
the two of them, the Nosferatu and the Ventru, the Nosferatu puts his arm around him and sort of leads him further off into the garden and calls back to the ghoul. Servant, come, follow. We are in search of a more private place to speak. And the pair of them start wandering further into the garden.
Me
Are they going
too.
towards the maze?
Yeah, they're so at this point they were like basically at like the kind of just the entrance of the maze. They're going far in now to this point, and the ghoul just sort of like, yes, master, stands up and like looks over to where Adelaide's voice had been and starts following.
That one's a bit twitchy.
Meanwhile, upstairs in the safe room, I don't know if Kevin is back yet or not. There you are.
Hello.
Oops.
Yeah. What's up?
So at this point, it's been several minutes. You have consumed Greg.
So I will slither to. This was Edward's office, right?
Yeah, this was yeah.
All right. So I will slither to Edward's desk and kind of go and deposit Greg under the desk, all kind of like there. So it looks like he just crawled under and died.
Oh yeah, very believable. 10 out of 10.
Mhm.
Ghouls do that all the time.
Yeah, they just drop dead. With a gigantic fanged hole in their throat.
I like the idea better that you were just walking around with a body inside your body.
Yes. Then I'll transform back. Just like move the chair a bit so it's harder to discover it. And look around.
It's
I'm back.
relatively. You're back, yeah.
Okay.
It's relatively sparse as offices go. You're guessing this is probably not his main office. He doesn't keep. There's not any paperwork that you can see or anything like that. No ledgers or anything of real value. You're guessing that this is just kind of a spare office.
Well, I take the item and everything, clean off a little, and head downstairs.
Okay. Edward. Meanwhile, at this point, the crowd of carriages has thinned out. You know that most of the guests have, moved to the ballroom. And at this point, one of your last guests arrives. It's this beautiful carriage in this pale pink and silvery carriage pulled by these brilliant chestnut horses, and the driver is bedecked in the fanciest things that it's almost ostentatious for a driver to be dressed quite so well. And you know that this is likely the Toreador Primogen, the one who wanted to make an entrance.
What's her name?
Her name is Evelina Wynn.
Yeah, as she's coming up or whatever.
Miss Wynn, radiant as always.
Thank you, of course. She steps out. She's a sort of middle-aged woman with this just mane of brilliant red hair and elaborate beaded gown that drags behind her. So I imagine that everybody of note is already here, yes?
Oh, yes. Yes, everyone is waiting for you.
Thank you. That's... Sorry, I got distracted because the dog was like, I heard a noise. Must investigate.
It's not a fry.
It's just the ghost that lives in your house. Don't worry, it's fine.
And she makes her way inside. And I'll say that Darcy or Marina, as you're finishing your dance with, I believe I said his name was Ambrose. You see her sort of step past the doorway and further into the house.
Well. I appreciate the dance, my good sir, but I have somebody I must speak with.
Oh, by all means. I wouldn't want to keep you waiting.
And if you ever want a private concert, I am always obliged.
Absolutely. And by the time you make your way out into the hallway, you can see that Evelina has gathered this sort of crowd around her of fans that are chatting her up and chatting with her. You do see the group of Toreador musicians have immediately flocked around her. And she immediately is just like, no, it's too early for dancing. It's too early for a performance. I prefer to stretch my legs after my long journey and take a walk through the gardens.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
if you would like to make a stretch about the gardens, I would love nothing more than to take a walk about the room with you.
She sort of sees you approach. Well, you're welcome to walk with me. My retinue, it seems, and she just looks around to the crowd of people with her. It seems that a lot of us are going to the gardens. It's a beautiful night, and I wouldn't want to miss the lovely, lovely views. I've heard that the roses here are absolutely stunning.
Ah, yes, the roses.
And she makes her way down into the garden. Meanwhile, everybody else in the garden. Mhm.
Like super quickly.
Mhm.
Can I make eye contact with Edward and whisper to him, like, do you happen to have white roses in this garden?
We do have a variety of roses. I enjoy the multicolor spectrum of them all. Each one is unique. So we have several bushes.
Fantastic. Thank you, dear.
Yes. Anything, just let me know.
Yes. Of course. Another glass of wine, please.
Yes. Where's Gregory?
Yeah, you haven't seen him in a while.
Should have been back by now. I'm sure he ran into something. Clarence, yes, good. Real quick.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Would you mind getting Miss Darcy another drink? Red
Absolutely.
wine, Miss Darcy?
I'm sorry?
A red wine from
Yes, please.
French again?
Yes.
Please, bring her a drink. Are you heading out?
Yes.
Yes, do enjoy the garden. Clarence, beat her at the door.
Wine to go, please.
Strange. Where has Gregory run off to?
So out and what is Kemal doing? You made your way back down into the rest of the party at this point. Yeah, and you see it does seem like a lot of folks are sort of split there. It seems like half are sort of dancing a little bit in the ballroom, but there is a surprising amount heading out into the garden, seemingly following this very popular individual that just arrived.
I tap someone near the ballroom on the shoulders, like.
Anyone in particular, or just
the first person I see?
It's a young woman wearing a nice but not extremely expensive gown. Yes.
I have noticed a lot of people are going into the garden. Is there a reason?
Well, I believe that one of the more prestigious guests, Madame Evelina Wynne, I believe she's the Toreador Primogen, has just arrived, and her group are heading that way.
Sounds exciting. Is there any plans for them being out there? Like, are they doing a dance, recital, drawing?
I'm not sure if
orgy?
I don't think that last one. The others all seem like they could be potentialities. If you'd like, I could join you into the garden.
I'm not sure. I just look. I'm like, are you one of our kind, or are you mortal?
I am mortal. Yes.
Oh, pity. You know, our kind has a lot of advantages over mortals. Are you a ghoul of somebody?
I am. I am a servant of, and she sort of nods over to this individual that's sitting at one of the tables, telling this ridiculous tale that has a bunch of people laughing. To Miss Mary Fitzwilliam. She's
Irish. I'm so sorry.
in the know regarding garden orgies. She's promised me the embrace, but I have to.
How long has she
earn
been
it,
promising
apparently.
it to you?
About better part of 10 years.
That is such a long, long time to wait for such a gift.
I
Here.
mean,
Here is my address and stuff. If you ever think about finding new employment, I guarantee a quicker turnover. I need, workers.
I will consider it. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I don't know that I got your name.
You can call me Kemal.
I'm Anna. Anna Talbot.
What a weird name. Thank you. Anna. All right. How do you spell that? A-N-Y-A?
No, it would be with 2 N's.
Anna. Anna.
Yeah.
Yes. Lovely. Well, if you change your mind, yes. Oh, what are your feelings on cocaine or heroin? Like, do you need some medicinal stuff? Like, do you have a toothache or feeling a little under the weather? My servant Farouk here has some of the highest quality medicinal stuff for you.
No, my master's blood typically leaves any of the aches that I would have like that. But if I feel the need, I'll let you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's wonderful. Lovely talking to you. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go to the Jardin. Debating. Yeah, I might be there in a Giphy.
So, out in the garden, who, if anybody, is following this odd couple that are wandering further into the maze?
I'm just walking about.
Yeah, so yeah, half of them you wouldn't actually see. Marina, you can easily spot
trying so hard not to run away. That's literally the biggest issue here.
You easily spot Pembroke and Simeon the Nosferatu pair walking through the maze from the tall sort of balcony overlook, just because of the pair that they make together. These two very tall figures, one cloaked in this massive black cloak and the other in stark white, and then trailing slowly behind them the Nosferatu's ghoul, and then a little bit behind them Mr. Lockeharte.
Trying to appear casual.
Are you whistling?
A little
not
bit.
Not that casual. Is how
I'm trying. I'm not very good at it.
Slightly more casual. Okay.
If you want, you could do a This would be either stealth or subterfuge.
Well, I'd probably go with subterfuge because I'm trying not to be seen as doing something unusual.
Okay, then manipulation and subterfuge.
All right. That's a roll for me. 5 dice.
Mhm.
1 success.
They seem to be distracted.
Oh, good.
You can see that the Nosferatu has his head on a swivel and is just looking around. He does clock you, but he doesn't seem concerned overly.
Whenever he looks over at me, I reach up and like touch some of the leaves to act like I'm looking at the bush. But I also give him like a side eye because it's not very good.
But the rest of you very easily can see Regency following behind, partially because half of you are invisible and can just easily see that. So those of you who are invisible, what would you like to do?
I'm actively trying not to run into Adelaide because I know she's probably here somewhere. While she does not know that I am. But yeah, I just want to stay close enough that I can hear them when they start talking again, but not so close that like I'm just on the edge of like, you know, I can hear them, I can pick up what I need to hear of the conversation, but I get no closer than that.
So you're trying to listen in on the Nosferatu and the Venture's conversation, right? Okay.
Thinking, should I do heightened senses just to pay attention because everybody's here?
Invisible bumper cars.
Hmm.
Basically. Yeah, so you see them sort of leaning in and talking amongst themselves. And Pembroke says, so do you think they wouldn't be foolish enough to make an appearance tonight, would you? And Simeon says, I'm not certain. I know that they're planning something large, and this would be the perfect opportunity. The notes that I found had information regarding the layout of the lands, some of the door placement, different things regarding the names of people who would be attending, including the two of us, which was a little startling considering I had not replied yet to Mr. Thomas. So I am going to have to, and he sort of turns around and makes eye contact with his ghoul at this point, going to have to very strictly interview all of my staff. I'm in the process of it now, which is part of why I've brought this one with me. I feel like one of them knows something. Seems like everybody has secrets, even the ghouls these days. And Pembroke sort of, that's just the way that life is. We must do what we can to ensure that we're as protected as possible. And if you don't trust the school, drain him and leave him. There will be others to pick up the pieces after this night is done. I'm sure Thomas has ways to dispose of these things. We can't hear you, Jeanette. So behind him, Callie, do you have a name for this individual, this ghoul? If not, I can pick one.
Well, I have brought up a bunch of Regency era names. Looking around.
Regency is a common name.
No, it's not. Stop it.
It was on my sheet when I got it.
Okay.
Moving on.
I made a mistake.
I think I'll just use one of my family members.
The return of the family members.
Literally. Kevin used 2 last night.
Name him Kevin.
We ought to have a quota for Kevin's.
No. More Kevins. Jonathan.
Sure, Jonathan.
Okay.
That's not a family member.
He's sort of wringing his hands. Are you still there?
Yes.
I don't know what's happening, but I know that he thinks something's gonna happen tonight, and I'm nervous. I've never seen him scared and hurt. Like he was really hurt when he got back from that house.
I won't let anything happen to you. We have to leave tonight. And if there is something that is going to happen, it might be enough to cause a distraction. To flee.
Okay.
I have my carriage about a mile from here. We can run to it and just leave.
Okay. All right.
It's going to be okay.
Okay. We can do this.
I have an idea. I
Oh.
might need to involve a friend in it who may know more than originally thought, but maybe I don't at all. Maybe this will all just work out how it's supposed to, and we can and I'll find you, and we can go. Just stay on guard.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna leave? Okay.
Well,
I mean, I understand. Do what you have to. I can do this.
I don't
He's
want to
distracted
leave.
now. As long as he's distracted, I'm good.
I look around. Do I see anybody?
You see Regency sort of trailing behind. And go ahead and I will say Adelaide and Darcy can both make wits and awareness checks for me. Because Darcy, at this point, you were still at like that top area balcony coming down and can see sort of a little further over this maze than everyone else.
Okay. Fail.
Bestial failure?
Complete failure. So yeah.
But did you get a 1 on a hunger dice?
No.
Okay.
I got 2 successes.
Okay. Marina, you're distracted trying to get close enough to talk to Evelina. Meanwhile, everybody is trying to get her attention. Adelaide, as you turn to like clock where everyone is, you see a shadow moving, but there's no one there. And you don't see any source of it. And it is very quickly sort of the what had been a small shadow of what looked almost like maybe the size of a cat, and you were just like, oh, okay, there's no cat, very quickly grows to the size of the hedge, to the point that the light cast by this lantern is completely obscured, and then starts approaching where you guys are. And very slowly, lanterns start blinking out as the shadow approaches. But you're the only one that has noticed this so far. Let's see if Mr. Paranoia up ahead has noticed. This was wits and oh, look at that. Convenient. Yeah, he also spots that, and his grip where he had been holding Pembroke tightens to the point that you can see like Pembroke flinches, like he actually pulls away, and in one very quick move he is thrown backwards towards this shadow, and the Nosferatu takes off running into the maze, and Pembroke sort of lands on the ground near actually not that far away from where Adelaide is standing, and he's sort of and you can see there are claw marks in his jacket that have like drawn a small amount of blood. You could see like he threw him with some force, and then the shadow falls on him.
Did he wait, hang on a second. Did he take the ghoul with him?
He did not. He left the ghoul and ran.
God, I'm grabbing Jonathan. We're out of here. I don't give a fuck what's going on here. I'm grabbing the ghoul and I'm out of here.
I'm there too, right?
You are, yeah.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out! Get out!
Wait,
Get out of there!
what does it look like? Like the shadow falls on him. What does this look like when it engulfs him?
Hey, who turned out the lights?
No! No!
Oh, that's like a library thing.
No!
Wait, I could be wrong.
No, you're right.
The Vashta Narada.
So,
Oh yeah. Can I take an action?
initially, the shadow just sort of falls over him, and it's no different than a shadow. And at first, he sort of is just, he doesn't even react. And then the lantern next to him is doused, and you just hear screaming.
I run.
GTFO!
Marina, at this point, you hear a scream, and you can see out in the maze that part of it is no longer lit. So Adelaide,
My lady, I don't mean to alarm, but there might be some interesting things happening over there, and I don't know if we should be a part of it, considering it sounds like they're screaming.
you don't say. I think inside would be best. Yes.
Yes,
inside,
yes.
where
Very
there's
much
lots
so,
of
yes.
light.
You are so wise.
Meanwhile, Adelaide, what direction are you running? Are you running the same way the Nosferatu went, back towards the house?
All right, this
Further
is
into
what's
the
going on.
maze?
This
What's
is
going
what's
on?
happening. So I have Mask of Many Faces. I don't know exactly how all that works out, but is it kind of like disguise self in D&D, or like what is it?
So basically, a little bit. You look. It's like disguise self, but instead of making yourself look like a particular specific person, you look like somebody that belongs. So you would probably look like one of Edward's servants, perhaps.
Okay.
Or like one of the low-level, no-named kindred.
Is it possible that I could just look like whatever the hell and just be under a cloak, and then I can write it out as a dude who just ran into the thing? Just pretend I'm leaving, bringing the ghoul with me, get into his carriage, get out of here. Can I do that?
So you can't make yourself look like the Nosferatu. It can't look like a specific person.
Okay.
But yes, you remember when I tried to help Colin? It was a whole fucking thing.
Think of it like you're like a movie extra.
Okay.
You are a background extra, effectively, right now.
Okay.
It's a perception filter.
Yeah. So you don't look like anybody of notice.
Okay.
Can I, like, I start to run, but can I?
Oh, yeah.
Throw up sense the beast?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to, like, I have to do, if I want to sense against this particular shadow as I run, resolve plus animalism versus their composure and subterfuge.
All right.
So it's 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7 dice. All right. Come on, baby.
What'd you get?
I got 0 successes on 7 dice.
Okay.
But I didn't roll a 1 on my hunger dice.
Well, that's good. You have no idea. You've never seen anything like this. It's probably not a vampire because it's a shadow. Probably made by a vampire or something way fucking worse.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna leave this whole sensing the beast thing up as a passive like threat warning. But yeah, I'm running. I kind of feel like I was close enough that he probably got tossed past me. So while Adelaide went the other way, maybe, or at least the ghoul did, I'm running after the Nosferatu. I'm going that direction.
All right. So you're heading further into the maze.
Yep. I mean, I am more than willing to try to go through a hedge if this gets worse, but sure, right now I'm just running after him, because he also seemed to know something was up from what I heard. So, gonna follow the information.
What is Regency doing? He
So
sees
Regency,
all this happening.
As soon as the shadows seem to go after the Nos, and the Nos throws, what's his name? Pembroke to the ground, he's going to look around and make sure he doesn't see anybody. When he doesn't, because everybody's invisible. And he's going to reach behind his back under his coat and pull out his dagger, and he's going to pull down his cummerbund a little bit, because they have those in the past. And he's going to activate the dagger by slicing himself in the back a little bit and covering it up with the cummerbund so it doesn't bleed. And then he's going to start approaching Pembroke with it, like still hidden behind his back, but like active.
All right. I think for that, it does require a rouse check.
I believe it does.
Worth of blood.
I'm successful.
Okay.
I was prepared for this. So when he goes to the ground and the dagger is ready as I approach and the shadows cover him.
Yeah, you can see as you get closer. It's hard to make out in the moonlight, but he is writhing around on the ground, and you can see these shadowy tendrils just wrapped all around him, almost like this massive constrictor snake just crushing him.
And they're like, okay, so I'm gonna step towards him.
He looks like he's Ventru tend to be quite tough, and it looks like that's helping him, but he's still effectively incredibly restrained.
I'm going to say, let me help you with that, you old horse. And then I'm going to step forward and try to drive the dagger through where his heart is.
All right, go for it. This would be Dex and melee.
Melee. And I have a specialty in knives, so that puts it at 7. I'm going to go ahead and I got 4 successes. I'm going to willpower reroll some of these non-successes just to be sure.
All right.
6 successes.
Okay, yeah, no, you definitely stab him. I will say that your difficulty was 4 because he is restrained, so he's not exactly easy to avoid you. Your knife normally does 2 damage. You got a success of 2 more damage, so that's 4.
And we have to do something with that magical scorpion effect.
Yeah. So.
Which I think that adds a paralyzing effect.
It sure does.
There's a lot of text for that ability, and
so roll your strength plus whatever the dots on the dagger are.
okay. Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna need to reroll. I got a 0 successes on that, so I'm gonna have to reroll that with willpower. Yeah, I can reroll only 3. 1 success.
Okay. It does not seem the paralysis does not seem to take, but he is bleeding quite heavily at this point, and the strong, rich scent of elder Ventru blood fills the air.
Well, never leave a job half done. I'll continue working on it until I'm finished.
Though at this point you can feel those shadows starting to pool around you and feel something sort of nudge at your leg, and you look down and you see another one of those tendrils. And let's see what that does.
I will just look at it and say, let me finish this. You can have what's left. I don't know if it has a brain, but I always act like things have a brain until I learn otherwise.
That's fair.
Would I be able to activate anything while it comes at me? Because I have toughness. I don't know if it's even doing anything that toughness would affect.
So toughness is the one that lets you reduce damage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that as a reaction.
Okay.
Actually,
if that thing tries to hit me, I'm gonna try to flex my skin.
Okay. Just go ahead and make a charisma persuasion check.
Oh no. Let's see, that's 1 die. Nope. That's a 0 success.
Okay.
And it's only the red one, so I can't re-roll it.
All right.
Wait. If it's
But you didn't get a 1 though, right?
No, it wasn't a 1. It was just
Oh, okay.
Luckily.
I was gonna say, oh no.
So I'm going to need you to make a athletics dexterity check as this tendril sort of wraps around you and is going to try and grab you.
I can hear from your dice that I'm going to lose.
You would say that, but I'm me.
I got 1 success, but a possible bestial failure. So unless you rolled a 0.
Guess what?
All right, I get 1 more turn.
I also got a bestial failure.
Okay, it looks. Well, you tell me what happens.
Oh my god.
All right. So, that is a good question. Give me a second.
I hope Pembroke is happy about this.
Oh, he's bleeding out. He is
He needs to bleed out quicker because once he stops, I can skedaddle.
okay.
Or attempt to.
So I will say that your compulsion in this is you must stick this through. You need to see this elder turn to ash, regardless of what happens. Here. Oh yeah, half of the ravens at this point most of them have flown away. As you're running though, Phoebe, you do see a couple of small little raven corpses along the way.
Oh,
I have feelings about this.
I'm sad too. Well, not out loud.
Meanwhile, up on the stairs, Marina, you can see people in the maze start scattering, and those shadows start moving more quickly, seemingly at first through the maze, sort of winding, almost like a person running through, and then very quickly expanding, almost like a bird's wingspan, where it sort of rose up over the hedge walls.
do I know what this is?
Stretched out. You could do an occult roll if you would like. It would
I
be
would love-
occult and intelligence.
Oh my goodness. Delightful.
But the shadow sort of stretches out over the maze, almost like this massive shadowy wingspan, very quickly covering a huge chunk of it and approaching the house.
I got 3 successes.
All right. You do know of a clan that has control over shadows like this. The La Sombra. They are a clan that typically stays out of the Camarilla politics as such, but isn't opposed to standing against them when needed. And you know that those shadows are sometimes passageways to a very dark and scary place that contains creatures that you're not entirely sure the nature of them. You've heard them referred to as shadows, demons, fiends, various servants, but whatever it is, it's definitely not good.
Right. Well, as we go in and I try to hurry very quickly along, I will turn to Edward as I walk in and be like, my dear, you might want to inform somebody in charge that there is uninvited guests in the garden.
In the garden?
Yes.
What perhaps is going in the garden?
Shadows are encompassing.
And at that point you say that, and sort of stepping out of one of the side rooms is the sheriff. Shadows in the garden.
Excellent. Yeah.
and
Gotcha. Apparently
I
we
like-
may have uninvited guests.
Whisper to Edward, being like, they might be La Sombra. But you didn't hear that from me.
And he immediately draws his sword and walks into the strides into the ballroom where the prince last was. And it's at that point that the two of you here, and Kemal, you I believe you were still in the ballroom, right? You're muted, dear. Okay, now you're just a dick.
Yeah, I was going to be just leaving to the door with Farouk.
As you're leaving, you hear and feel the shattering of glass.
I feel it.
little flecks of glass from the nearest window hit the back of your jacket, and the entire room goes dark as every candle in there is doused.
I activate the thing, Eyes of the Beast.
And at this
Spec-
point, all of you hear screaming, and the sheriff takes off running at top speed.
Farouk, sacrifice yourself for me.
Can I sense the unseen?
Where are you running, Kemal?
I run out of the big old doors, down the steps, look over where the stables are, and see what's going on there.
All right. So looking out into the towards where the stables are, it's hard to see. It's very dark. The clouds have sort of
Eyes of the Beast.
covered the moonlight, and the barn is not as visible as it should be. It is very, very dark and shadowed.
Fuck that shit. I just start running across the yard. Well, I start trying to transform into the snake to slither away. I'm just like,
All right.
no.
Eyes of the Beast. That is, what ability is that? Protean?
Yes. No roll needed.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, let's see in the dark. Edward, looking out, you can see that all of the windows are broken, and there is
That is going to be a bitch to replace. That's a lot of windows. What else am I seeing?
these shadowy tendrils sort of creeping into the room,
Hmm.
and then behind them, bodies, people, figures, stepping in, clambering into the windows. They are dressed in dark gray clothing, definitely for war. They are all armed, and heading towards the nearest guests.
Can
It does
I
seem like
see-
they're
can I
trying to
s-
be quiet, though.
Can
But
I see the bodies because of Sense the Unseen? Do I know that? Okay.
so wait, hang on. Did you use Eyes of the Beast or Sense the Unseen?
I use Sense the Unseen.
I used Eyes of the
Okay.
Beast.
So Sense the Unseen. What would that show you?
See other vampires, aspect or obfuscate powers in use, ghost,
okay.
blood sorcery, etc.
Technically, this isn't one of those things. I'll say that it would allow you to see the tendrils, but not the people. Sorry, that part you would not see because it's just dark as shit.
Hmm.
So effectively, you're seeing pitch black with these tendrils sort of slithering through what you know to be the crowd, which
Okay.
in hindsight is probably much scarier.
Well, damn. Do these tendrils seem to have a port of origin, or is it just continue like flooding?
They're coming in through the windows. It seems like they're flooding in from some source outside.
Hmm. I really need Gregory here.
Poor Gregory.
All right.
So,
And the sheriff has made his way outside.
he
he made
ran into the ballroom where the shattered
presumab-
glass is, presumably to find the prince.
Okay, I'm gonna go do the same.
Okay. You hear him shouting immediately. Meanwhile, out in the maze, let's see. Adelaide, you and the ghoul were heading which way? Further into the maze or towards the house, right?
Yeah, towards the house.
Towards the house. Okay. Yeah, you as you're running past, you do see Pembroke lying on the ground in this shadow, and you see Regency standing over him, shanking the shit out of this shadow encased body. You can see the blood, but you cannot see Pembroke at all. And you can see that wrapped around Regency's legs are more of these shadowy tendrils. And it looks like they're trying to start to climb up his back.
Hang on.
She's got to roll a dice to see if she cares.
I'm assuming I'm
tails
too
like
consumed to notice anything else.
Hang on.
Is that a coin?
Yeah.
Heads or tails to see whether she actually cares enough.
I wouldn't.
Damn.
Gone. Bye.
Got to stick to your guns. I respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay, yeah. So you make your way jogging up the stairs as fast as you can. I will say as this shadowy force extends over the maze, just go ahead and make a athletics dexterity check for me to try and avoid these shadowy tendrils.
Have athletics.
Must be nice.
Oh, that is one success on the hunger die. It's a 10.
Oh, okay. So that's actually 2 successes because no, it's only 110 though, right?
It's only 110.
Okay, yeah. So you, as you're sort of running, you do get tripped by one of these shadowy tendrils. And that is 2 damage to you as you feel this intense cold that the only thing that it can you can compare it to is the night of your embrace, that cold embrace of all of the heat leaving your body for the last time. And immediately your hand is pulled from Jonathan's as he sort of scrambles backwards for a second and then tries to reach forward and pull you away from this tendril. And he is going to have to make the same roll. I'll be damned. He succeeded. He dodges out of the way of one and is trying to pull you free ineffectively. He does not have the strength to pull you free, but he is at least not fallen victim to these himself yet.
Jonathan, go! Go to my carriage and run! And I will meet you later! It will be great and like romantic and shit, so get out of here!
I can't leave you. What? I don't even know what this is. I go ahead and make a this would be, I would say, probably some kind of persuasion or other face skill, unless you want to use a discipline. And yeah, what skill would you like to try to use to convince him that it's better for him to run than to stay with you?
Can I use manipulation?
Sure.
Yeah.
So manipulation and are you lying to him? Are you using subterfuge?
Can it be persuasion?
Yeah, I'm gonna use persuasion because I don't know, like, the way that I would be lying to him is if I knew I was like,
yeah,
this was it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she would lie to him.
Okay. So persuasion and manipulation,
which is still a lot of dice. How many dice is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Well, shit. That's 5 successes.
Okay.
1's a 10. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Don't die out here. I need you, okay? And he turns and does the thing where like he doesn't want to let go of your hand until he's at the very last moment, and turns and runs through the house. Meanwhile, Phoebe, you are tearing ass after this Nosferatu, who is running full tilt and quite fast, but that's those long legs apparently. Anything you're doing while running for your life?
I mean, where do I have a sense of where I think he's going to go? Because we're going further into this maze, and there was just the one entrance, right? There's not like another exit to the maze.
Typically, a maze typically has like 2. There's the entrance and the exit. So you know there's an exit, but you're not sure where it is because it's a maze.
Right.
I mean, unless it's like one of those mazes where it ends in the middle.
Which one would it be, Edward?
Yeah, Edward.
You're the host.
There's a secret garden in the middle, but it's just there is an exit, and then
It's a real Ella Enchanted moment.
And then there's still some nice gardens, but not as nice. It's are on the way back to the front towards the house.
But he does not seem particularly like he honestly is just running in a straight line as fast as possible away from the shadows. It doesn't look like he's making decisions of any kind.
Can I try to call out to him? I'm like, wait, you're just going to get lost.
I mean,
and I'm going to drop that as I yell. Yeah.
He's sort of looks around, breathing heavily, even though you know that he obviously doesn't need to do that. Where the fuck did you come from? Do you know the way out of this maze?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I look up and see if I see any of my ravens.
I'll say you see a couple that are flying very far overhead.
Can I get their attention?
Yeah, you could.
I think, what do I use feral whispers to speak to them?
Yeah, I'll say you could call one down.
I'm going to ask the raven if it can guide us to the exit farthest from the shadows. Let's see.
Make your, I think it's there's some kind of check involved.
So I have to persuade with manipulation plus animalism.
There you go.
All right, so 3, 4, 7 dice. There we go. Roll. Oh, I rolled 4 successes.
Okay. The raven says, yes, can do.
And I look to the Nosferatu and I say, follow us.
Do you have a shiny for me?
It seems like the raven is just very happy to be away from these shadows.
Same.
And immediately takes off and starts flying. And like immediately at first tries to go over a hedge before seemingly realizing that you guys can't do that and sort of swerving back onto the path.
Yeah, I kind of tell it, just go if you have to land from hedge to hedge until we catch up. And I look at the Nosferatu with kind of a knowing look because I know he kind of clocked the ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And just a shrug like, and we'll continue to run.
Yeah. He sort of looks over you. If we get out of this, we'll have to have a chat. if we survive. Don't let the shadows touch you.
Can you explain and run? What the hell are those? And I'm moving as this conversation continues. Also trying to keep my voice somewhat low, but still a little desperate because what the
Those are what the Lasombra call the arms of Ahriman. They hurt like death. Again.
Huh.
They can squeeze the life out of you, and if you get caught in it, most of the time you won't make it out.
But by this point, I've kicked off the high-heeled shoes, a la whatchamacallit in Stranger Things.
Nice.
There they go flying.
It says it does mean that there's a K-Knight controlling it somewhere, probably somewhere centralized high up where he can see everything, perhaps on the roof. If
I look up, can I see the house, like the upper part of the house from here?
Far off in the distance, you can see the outline of the house, and you can see at this point that several of the rooms that had lights on no longer have lights on. And very faintly, it's hard to make out because of the moonlight, there is a shadowy mass on the roof. And little tendrils draping down the sides of the building. Some going into the house, most extending out into the garden.
I will point and make sure he sees that as well.
Yeah. Unless you think you can kill it, I would suggest we avoid it and get the hell out of here.
Did have some plans for this evening and something I wanted to accomplish, but perhaps it can wait for another time.
Depends on what it was. Meanwhile, inside the house, or actually rather outside the house, Kemal, you said fuck the barn and we're just running full tilt through the countryside, right?
I also transformed to use shapeshift to turn into a snake, so it's harder to find me.
Okay, yeah.
Something's weird with your microphone, Kev.
It was up.
That would do it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I snaking out of there. I'm being very snaky, so they don't see me.
Yeah, so you transform into a snake, sort of hunker down in the shadows and slither your way into the darkness. And you can see now, sort of turning around and looking, you can see these shadowy tendrils creeping down the sides of the house and into the house and different things.
As I see that, I think to myself, as I cannot talk as I am a snake. Oh, I was going to frame that Fitzwilliams person for the murder of that Greg. Save myself some time. Wonderful.
Meanwhile, in the ballroom, you can hear the sheriff shouting out for the prince and her responding. Edward, what are you doing?
I'm also going to find the prince. It's gonna look real bad if I survive and she does not.
Probably, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do my best to... I can't do much because I am not a fighter, but I'll do what I can to follow them, and if I got to push them out of the way, because I can at least see the tendrils for right now.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, as you're sort of, you make your way over to where she is, you can hear her, you follow the sound of her voice. You hear what is unmistakably the sound of metal on metal, of two swords clashing. Which is a little startling, because you're not sure what the tendril should sound like, but you're guessing not that. And he yells out, enemy attackers. The sheriff does. Retreat. Katif, you have a spot that is safe, yes?
Of
You have a
course.
safe house?
Yes. On premise or off premise? I just clarify.
Just get us the hell out of here.
Can
He
do.
like reaches out and pushes the prince directly into you.
Come this way.
She sort of like stumbles and grabs onto your arm with this death grip.
Ouch. Come this way.
So where do you think in the house would be the safest place to take them, or where would you take them?
In the house
so-
would be let's go with cellar, because at the very least there is also an opening to the outside. So I'll take him down there. Any other staff that I kind of run across, just like usher people towards the door. If the
Yeah,
front
at this
door
point
isn't like,
it's hard to tell who is who, just because
just real quick, would heightened senses help at all?
it certainly would, yeah.
Okay. It says adds aspect to awareness rolls, so I'm not sure if
Yeah, so effectively it wouldn't make it so that you automatically see in the darkness, but I'll say that it makes it easier for you to tell who is your people and who is not and whatnot. So
I recognize the
effectively.
footsteps.
yeah, and voices more easily in the chaos. You can pick out who are your staff in the chaos very easily.
Did I notice if like the front door was also being covered?
I'll say the front door is not covered at the moment.
Just on the way out, just tell everyone to like, all my people to see if they can start ushering people towards the front door, just get them out of the house.
Okay.
Towards the front area, because that's doesn't seem to be affected.
Mhm.
As I'm still trying to usher the prince to the cellar.
And people immediately start flooding out that front door. Where is Marina and the Toreador Primogen heading?
I mean, she
At
would.
this point, you hear the chaos. You hear people screaming and shouting. You do hear the crowd heading towards the front door.
Oh my. I do have a carriage, my lady. If you would like to get out of here.
I have one as well, but at this point, whatever is closest would be preferable.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Now the clinging to things, is that something that I could like hold on to another person with, or like if I were to use it and like just to
So
avoid
like you don't get separated?
more so like walk on the wall and also hold her so we don't need to worry about people.
Only if she were like balanced on top of you. So like if you were upside down scuttling like a spider and she was on top of you and you were supporting her weight.
I mean,
or she were holding onto you like piggyback style, that could work too.
Yeah. I mean, I would offer that as the fastest way out of here.
How do you portray this? Because this is probably not a thing that she knows you know how to do.
I have a way to get us out of here much faster than the crowds can, but you're gonna have to trust me and let me hold you.
As long as it gets us out of here.
Thank you. Yeah, and if I remember correctly, I go up to a potted plant and grab a fucking spider.
Mm-hmm.
Pop it into my mouth. And like spin around in my hands and start climbing.
Okay.
Can't
Like
believe she found my
Spider-Man
emergency-
situation, yes.
My emergency supply of Spider-Mans.
She holds on to you and then immediately clings tighter as you start climbing the walls. And then as you get up to like the ceiling area, she just does away with dignity and wraps her legs around your back.
Well, okay, what I'm imagining is that I'm to the like facing the ceiling and she's like holding on to me like a hug.
Oh, okay. Okay, then yeah. Meanwhile, Edward and the prince make their way to the cellar and down the stairs and into the wine cellar, where you do find a handful of folks that look like they have already started to take shelter down here, that immediately, as soon as the door is open, two of them turn and snarl, and the other two seem probably to be mortals. They're just cowering in the corner.
Easy. And I'll try and see if I can find the torch that was just like down here somewhere, and see if I can light it.
Okay. There are a handful of lanterns down here. There is one or two that were lit already, just because people were coming in and out to get wine.
And just make a few more, like,
yeah.
And then
the prince sort of delicately lets you go. Well, as long as this is safe for now, I suppose we can ride it out here.
It may be safer off premises. Unfortunately, I don't know how compromised the house is.
Fabulous.
If you wish, I may escort you to the stables as best I can, or my personal stables.
That would be ideal. Yes, let's get the hell out of here.
Yes. So I start leading her, and have the others kind of like follow me as well, and or if they want to come.
Oh yeah, no, they all do.
And so I start leading them. There's a smaller stable, but that's where like my personal stuff is, my carriage and whatnot.
So most of them grab those lanterns that you have as you make your way out, and heading out of the cellar, you immediately hear screaming from the front of the house. Which the front of the house where everyone went, off to the side beyond where the walkway is where the main barn is, or where the main stables are. A lot of screaming in that direction.
Well, that is quite unfortunate. Luckily, we're going the opposite way.
You sure are.
So, fingers crossed.
Stepping out into the lawn, you can see now those tendrils sort of curling into the house. And Edward, you can clearly see these tendrils all sort of swarm up to the top of the house, where you see this figure just encased in roiling shadow. Looks about human-sized-ish. That's just standing on the tallest point of the roof.
Well, I can't do anything right now. See if I can find the sheriff if they're still alive, but Fred's safety first.
And the pair of you, the group of you, make your way to the stables. I'll say at this point, Kemal, you do see this group of about 5 people, or actually 6 people, running across the lawn towards another part of the property that is off to where, like, near where like the servants' quarters are. You're muted.
He just wriggled that way.
Okay. Are you
Yeah,
following them or
I'm going separate because my idea is there's a group of 5 people, so the shadows are going to go after the largest groups to kill the most people. They're
valid?
not going to. They're going to just ignore the
The little snake.
little snake. The snack
Meanwhile, out in the garden.
Jordan.
Somebody is stabbing.
Hmm.
So if you would like to, you can go ahead and roll your attack again against good old Pembroke.
Here we go. Gonna willpower. 6 successes.
Shit. Okay, nice. Yeah.
Do we roll poison again?
Yeah, if you want.
All
Actually,
right.
yeah, no, it would be every time.
I think I had a 5 for that. Let's see. Hope I get lucky this time. 3 successes this time.
That is what you needed.
All right.
You did get
Um,
lucky.
Yeah, so this time you stab at him and you can see now that he's slowing down. The tendrils are at this point have probably broken most of his limbs, if not all of them, as they're
Good, good,
tightening
good.
around him. He is bleeding out, choking on a bit of blood. And as he's sort of struggling, the poison takes effect and he stops struggling.
Does that satisfy my compulsion? Or he's not ash yet.
He is
I
not
guess I
ash
gotta
yet.
Wait until it's for sure.
And as the tendril that is on your back
Uh-huh.
tightens around you, there is a sickening crunch as the tendrils squeeze tighter, and he just crumples in on himself before very slowly you see this pale white skin go gray and then ashy and black, and he crumbles to ash. But I need you to make a athletics dexterity roll, as the tendril that is trying to fuck you up is going to continue to do that.
And now that I'm happy with my success, can I activate prowess to try to get a little bit stronger against this grapple?
Sure.
What would that give me?
I think
Technically, it gives
you
you
add
strength.
your potence to feats of strength, so athletics.
Oh,
I
okay.
would
So
say.
that would give me, because of blood potency, that would be an extra 3 dice.
Nice.
Well, it looks like it's the same roll, 3 successes. No beast this time.
What happens if they both succeed on an attack, Kevin?
You're muted.
Fuck you.
Nothing happens. It basically stalemate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the tendril sort of tries to wrap around you and sort of curls up your neck and goes to like try and wrap around your throat, and you sort of twirl away. It's still there, and
Mhm.
it is much more aggressive at this point and much larger. But you are out of its grip for the moment. What do you want to do?
I want to run away.
Okay.
How thick are the plant walls? Could I just charge through them?
Potentially, yeah.
I've got prowess going. I'm exalted from beating the guy and fleeing for my life and panic. So I'm going to try to
That's
just
fair.
football charge through all the walls.
Okay. Which direction are you going? Do you want to go towards the house, away from the house, towards stables?
I'm going to go where I believe I entered from, whichever direction back would be, just because I
Okay.
feel like that's probably the closest.
Towards the house. Okay. So it's a hedge. I'll say, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Go ahead and make one more athletics dexterity roll just to avoid any further shadows, though.
All right. 4 successes this time.
Okay, yeah. You see them coming and can sort of dodge and weave out of them. Especially going through the hedges is actually surprisingly effective. It seems like there's a physicality to these tendrils that they can't just go through walls. at least. Not as easily as you can.
Good. I'm a bit panicked. So I don't take a lot of notes on that.
Meanwhile, following the raven through the maze, Phoebe, you and Simeon finally make your way to the edge of the maze. The raven sort of alights onto the ground in front of you and hops a little bit. And looking behind you, you can see that shadow very slowly creeping towards you guys to consume the rest of the maze.
I think it's time to leave. Do you have transportation? I look to the house to see if I can see the stables from here.
You guys are kind of far away. Go ahead and make a wits awareness check.
Oh, what's an awareness? Let's see.
You guys made it to the end of the maze.
4.
Mhm.
We did.
There's a tiny banner that says congratulations. Go back to house for refreshments.
Oh.
3 successes.
Looking back, the house is completely covered, and you can hear very faintly now the sound of a lot of yelling, pained yelling coming from the house. From what little you can see of the stables, it is completely encased in shadow. You do see a group of individuals running across the lawn in the direction where you guys are, though, like further away, towards one of the only structures that haven't really been touched. As far as you can tell, that was one of the forgotten areas. It looks like it was probably like the servants' quarters.
I look at Simeon and I say, my dear fellow, what do you think is the best process of escape? I believe my carriage is probably not useful at the moment. Do you see them moving toward there? Should we hide, run? What do you think?
Well, my initial thought would be to abandon everyone and run for myself, but I don't know that we would be able to get anywhere safely before dawn. So considering that is the only place that seems to be untouched by shadow, I would suggest there.
All right then, let's go. And start to run in that direction with him at my side, and I say, so I caught a brief snippet of your conversation. Can I just ask, is this due to some of what I overheard?
I think they were planning this before I ever broke into their haven, but it's definitely related.
Are you their prime target?
I would say probably the prince is their prime target, I would hope. But after my interactions with them, I'm up there.
Well, if they get the prince, that takes care of an issue I needed to deal with tonight, so we'll just call it a wash there, and let's see if we can't find a good place to hide or a good fast form of transportation to get the hell out of here.
That would be nice, yes.
Just running in the direction of that building, since it seems to be the only place not affected at the moment.
Meanwhile, in the maze, Adelaide, you had been grabbed by one of these tendrils.
Yes.
Behind you, you hear the sound of like branches breaking and these hedges being torn apart as something thunders through the maze. And if you would like to, you can try and get away from this tendril wrapped around you.
I would like to try.
Okay. Do you want to try just like athletics? Do you want to try strength? What do you want to do?
Can I brawl? Can I fight it?
Sure, you can try.
Okay. And can I also manipulate it into like, never mind. I guess I will use strength the best that I can.
Okay. Go ahead and roll strength and brawl for me.
Ooh. 3 successes.
Yeah. So you manage to slip away just as it goes to realizing that it can't really wrap around you as much as it would like. The tendril sort of whips back to try and slam down on you, and you roll out of the way. And as soon as it hits the ground, it actually cracks the little stepping stones that you were laying on a second ago with incredible force. But you are free and can make your way away from it. I'm going to assume that you would like to run. Yeah.
Yes.
Which direction? Further into the maze, towards the house, through the hedges? Where do you want to go?
Where does I could see the shadows, right? So like, can I tell where they're coming from? If they're coming from the like if they're coming from the house?
It does seem like they're coming from the house, yeah.
It would be better if I ran away from the house.
Potentially, though you do know that you sent Jonathan into the house, towards the house.
I did. I will run towards the house. I forgot.
Yeah, so you make your way jogging up those stairs into the house, and you can see in the moonlight those tendrils creeping down the sides of the house and into the windows. And at this point, you do hear the sound of yelling and snarling and combat and swords out in the front of the house.
Do I see Jonathan?
Go ahead and make a wits awareness roll.
Wits. I'm not smart. Awareness. Better at that.
Remember that you can do a blood surge. You can spend a rouse check to add 2 dice to your pool.
All right, I'll do a rouse check. I failed it. I still get it, right? I still get the...
Yeah, you still get the 2 dice. You just get a little hungrier.
Okay. Do I use a hunger dice now? Or would that be...
It would be the next... for after this.
Okay. Okay. That's 4 successes.
Okay. Yeah, you do actually see him as you stumble out of the front doors and back into the moonlight. Because at this point, all lights in the house are doused. It is pitch black stumbling through the house. And coming out into the main entryway where all of those carriages had lined up, it is a bloodbath and a battlefield. There are these monstrous creatures that are tall, bloated things that look like they're stitched together like Frankenstein's monster, with these elongated claws of bone that are just tearing creatures limb to limb. You see the sheriff that is absolutely in the middle of this, covered in gore, carving his way through as many of these things as he can. Although he himself is also quite injured. His one arm hangs sort of limp and just ripped to shreds. And cowering next to one of the doors behind a potted plant, you see Jonathan just hiding and shaking like a leaf.
I grab his hand.
Oh my, he immediately just hugs you.
Let's get out of here, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You can see though that the stables are completely covered in that shadow. Unclear what, if anything, is able to be over there.
Is there are
You just see
Sorry.
that your carriage was not here. That's right.
it is not. It is like a mile away, I said.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna head that way.
All right. Yeah. So the two of you take off running into the darkness. As you do, Kemal, you see this pair of individuals. Actually, as you're sort of slithering through the darkness, saying "fuck this noise, fuck this noise, I'm the hell out of here." You expected that you were just going to try and find like a little burrow and probably kill some small groundhog or something and hole up for the night and wait for dawn. But you smell a horse.
I slither fastly to the horse.
And then you see a carriage on the road. You're quite a ways away from the house.
I do that snake thing where they reach up and open the door and just slither into the. And just try to get all
Get under
curled
the
up.
seat.
Yeah, just like.
And a bit later, Adelaide, you and Jonathan make your way. You see your carriage sitting where you left it, your horse obediently waiting.
I get up I get up on like the thing to take the horse and the carriage, and I just go, I'm leaving. I don't care what's in the carriage. I put Jonathan up there with me.
Yeah.
Kevin's there.
You have no idea. There's a big ass fucking snake in the back.
I'm just going.
Yeah, no, you guys make your way the hell out of there.
Hell yeah.
Inside the house, Marina, you and Evelina have made your way to the front door, where at this point you can see the carnage outside.
Is her carriage there? Because she was the last one to get here.
She was the last one to get here. Actually, yeah. I will say that it does look like there are several of these monstrous creatures sort of surrounding it. And the horse at this point is like roiling around, rearing back, trying not to panic, and is absolutely in a panic because monsters are surrounding it. It looks like these creatures are trying to keep the carriage from leaving, but are more or less playing with the horse rather than actually deciding to murder it.
Do I know if like physical attacks will hurt these things?
I'll say for these things, you've heard of them. Kevin, correct my pronunciation if I'm wrong. These are Slada. These are Semeski flesh-crafted monstrous creatures, typically either vampires or mortals that have been warped into war machines, effectively. They're very, very tough, very dangerous, but they are mortal. They can die just the same as anything else.
Great.
They also tend to be very stupid. Just because the nature of what the Semeski have to do to them to make them into this tends to break the mind a little bit. Which is possibly why these three are focused on a horse rather than the horde of kindred that they could be carving through.
Okay, so here's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I take out my violin.
Okay.
I'm gonna start to make like a very violent, like raging song to distract them.
Okay.
While I do that, I am trying to cut my finger on the string of the violin.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna start to make my hands hurty, as it were. And I'm trying to get them to come over here to distract them, and telling my lady friend to duck in, and I'll be right behind.
Okay. I assume by hurdy this is
Yeah, I'm gonna turn my blood into
the acid.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, acid doesn't do as much to vampires. It would to mortals. So if these ones are mortal, it would hurt them more than if
It's the only weapon I got, so
that
I can see it.
you do have that last one.
Okay.
Effectively, if you do that and reduce a human low enough, they will just die. If you do it low enough to a kindred, they will probably go into frenzy.
All right, yeah. That's actually that's a good idea. I'll do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do just like very wild shrieks of music.
All right. So go ahead, and I'll say it's going to be 2 rolls just because I want to see how well your performance is. But we'll call it one. So charisma performance.
Okay. So I need one more. Yeah, okay. I go 2, 3, 4. 5 successes.
Okay. Yeah, it is a rousing performance. Probably not your best, but it's a tense moment. And then a wits and blood sorcery roll for me.
All right.
And remember, you can do another rouse check to do a blood surge if you would like to add more dice to this pool.
How much is okay. Wow, all right, yeah. And then what was the thing you said? Sorry.
Wits and blood sorcery.
No, like to add to my roll.
Oh, it's a rouse check.
Okay.
And it just adds 2 extra dice.
That fails.
Okay, so you are a little hungry.
Yeah. But I still add the dice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm literally running out of dice here. Alright, let's see. Okay. 4 successes.
Okay, yeah. So you as you're sort of playing, little droplets of your blood drop from your hands onto the ground. And then the creature in front of you, the one that's nearest to where the carriage door is, the back part of it where this one massive arm is sort of stitched on, you see a small cut open up that starts dripping and bleeding onto the ground, and then erupts in this gout of blood that gushes towards you. And
excellent.
You can fade from that. It's twice the normal speed, so I think it's normally it's like 1 point per round, Kevin. I'll say yeah. So you can reduce your hunger by 2.
Oh.
And this thing howls in pain and anger and turns to you furiously as blood is like gushing out of its back and arcing over its head and towards your mouth.
I wipe my mouth and I'm dashing towards the carriage, and I say, like I'm gonna jump on top and try to ride it.
I will say that's what you do next round, because you can do nothing while feeding this way. But so
Okay.
that's what you do this round. She immediately sees this opening and dives towards the carriage as this
Yeah.
thing starts running.
I'm assuming
towards
there's
you.
no servants left on there, so
No,
somebody has to.
absolutely
Yeah,
not.
okay, so I'll drive. It's fine.
Yeah, she immediately dives in, closes and latches the door. Not that this latch is going to do anything against these things, but
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Regency, you have made your way out of the hedge maze, up the stairs. You see the house just covered in these tendrils. Do you want to go through the house? Do you want to
No,
go
I want to
around?
go towards where all the carriages would be.
Okay.
Would
Going
I get
over
there and be able to see Marina and the Primogen fighting to get into the carriage?
yeah, so you sort of go realizing the house is covered, you go around it towards where the barn is or where the stables are, and you see the stables completely covered in that shadow. And
RIP to a real one.
look over and see this just massive brawl where at this point it's thinning out. It looks like the sheriff and a couple other kindred, including one Ambrose, are some of the only kindred left in this fight that are actually doing much other than running for their lives. And you see a flash of red hair as this woman dives into this carriage, and you see Marina holding her violin as a gout of a fountain of blood pours out of this monstrous creature and into her mouth.
That's really efficient. I'm going to go for that carriage. I want to try to get on.
Okay, yeah. So I will say that go ahead and make a the creature is going to make a swing at you.
Could I swing my knife at it as I try to keep it off me as I run towards the carriage?
Sure. So go ahead and just make a dexterity and melee.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
the dagger
so we'll
says it's magical, so I don't know if that increases its effectiveness.
It makes it so that it effectively the magical is just that it lets you do the paralysis thing.
That's what I was wondering about.
Yeah.
Which technically that would still be on there because it's one scene. I don't know if it's the same scene.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay, well I got 8 successes on my attack.
Fuck. Yeah, you hit. Okay. Shit.
I also got 4 10s on that roll, just like a certain earlier event.
Were any of them on the blood die?
Nope. My
Okay.
one blood die was not a success.
Yeah, I'll say that this one, just because it's getting late and these things have been fighting for a while, you slash at it as the claws come down to like swipe at you, and you sort of stuck under the claws. And just as you get to the other side of ducking past the claws, this creature sort of stumbles a step towards you, and then another step, and then face plants into the dirt as it is paralyzed.
Awesome. I'm going to call out, come along, Miss Darcy. It's time to go. And I'm going to get in the driver's seat.
Wipe my face, grab onto his hand, let's fucking get.
All right. As soon as she's on board, I'll assume it's time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say the two of you make your way, tearing ass out of here, ducking past the one monster, the remaining monster's claws, and make your way off into the countryside.
And you said you don't like to dance.
It's got to be spontaneous.
Elsewhere, Edward is running towards his private stables, and Phoebe, you are chasing after as well, correct?
I don't know if I was chasing after or like we're kind of neck and neck because we saw them heading there, but
Yeah.
we're sort of, our main goal is the same place, I
Yeah.
think.
So Edward, you make your way to where you know the servants' quarters is, and your private stables are sort of off to the side. It's not much. It's got like room for maybe like 2 horses and a very simple carriage.
Yeah.
But it does seem like it's been mostly neglected, and you know that this is probably because they are probably aware that there was nothing here except for the handful of horses, because all of the servants were in the main house. So, what do you want to do?
I make sure the prince gets on the carriage. It's in the carriage. Try to get other people. Check to see if anyone can drive really well. Like, just ask them, like, how good are you at, driving a carriage? Because I have 0 in drive. And I would like to make sure people can actually get out quickly and safely.
One of the mortals is a very young man, probably a ghoul. I mean, I've done it. I've ridden horses before. Like I've driven a carriage before, if that helps. I don't know how skilled I need to be for this, but
As if you can get us out of here, then that you're skilled enough. So
okay. And he clambers up onto the front of this thing.
I make sure everyone else can get in, or at least like hang off the side, whatever.
Yeah, so it might be a bit cramped, but the rest of you guys can pile in.
Compared to the alternative.
Yeah.
But I'll make sure I'm the last one in. Do I notice Phoebe on the way up?
Yeah, as you're sort of as you're like pushing the last person in and like, okay, this is gonna be a tight fit. You see Phoebe and this tall cloaked figure beside her come barreling around the corner and into sight.
quickly get on.
I am going to go right for the driver's seat next to this young person.
Okay.
And without hesitation, I'm going to talk to the horses. So I roll a rouse check for this,
Okay.
and I got a success.
All right.
And I am going to basically tell the horses, we are getting the fuck out of here. You're going to take the road and run from the shadows as fast as you can without getting us killed. And I have to roll manipulation plus animalism, I think.
Okay.
Or charisma plus and one of those two. So that's gonna be 3, 4.
Beside you, Simeon immediately goes to like climb up, and it for a second you think there's not enough room on the seat beside you, Phoebe. You think he's gonna sit next to you, and then he climbs up onto the roof of the carriage and holds on. And you actually see Edward, his claws pierce through the top of the carriage, and he just hunkers down and holds on.
Well, I get 4 successes on my conversation with these horses.
The horses are shadow. Okay, all right. Don't like shadows.
They'll eat us.
Oh, what? And the 2 horses are like talking to each other. Shadows eat us. What? That doesn't make any sense. But they immediately
These crazy
listen.
humans are so weird.
They don't know. They didn't see any of this.
I whip open, I run to the front, whip open the doors or whatever, and just tell them to go. Protect the prince.
And you guys make your way out of there. Edward, you do have there was room for you still. It'd be a little crowded inside, but if you would like to, you can get into the carriage or at least get onto the side.
I tell them to go. Prince's security is more important right now.
So
Phoebe actually curses under her breath when she realizes the prince is in this carriage. Shit!
So I believe that is everyone. as you ride off across the countryside away from this house. Edward, you turn around and look back to this beautiful manor that you spent so long trying to make perfect for this perfect evening. And this absolute bloodbath it's turned into. And you can see at this point, the sheriff is not doing well. It's hard to see exactly what's happening, but it does look like he might be the only one standing at this point. What do you want to do?
Is there an easy and convenient way to get to the roof?
I'll say that you know a way to get to the roof from the inside of the house.
Ooh, through the shadows?
Well, most of the shadows are on the it looks like the at this point you've seen enough of what's been happening. It looks like the intent was to herd everyone to the front yard where the monsters were waiting to turn this into a bloodbath.
Okay. All right. Sure. I'll go. I'll kind of yell out to the sheriff loud enough just for him to hear, not for all the world to hear, but like, it's coming from the roof. I'm gonna try my best to push it off. I don't know. I'll just hold on a little bit longer.
Okay.
I'll make my way
So
to the roof best I can, avoiding the tendrils and whatnot, and just pushing.
yeah, so you do know where they are. You can easily enough jump over them, I'll say, and you know this house like the back of your hand. It may not be your primary haven, but you've spent many a night here. And make your way to the attic stairs that you know take you up to the roof for the very rare occasions that you need to get up here. Typically, it's not the sort of thing that you do. You usually send Greg, but who the fuck knows where he is? He's probably dead on the floor somewhere.
And I was really hoping I could sire him, but conversation for later.
Oh,
Somewhere, as long as he's okay. God, I hope he's okay. He's my best friend, and I love him. Oh, I've been childhood friends forever.
It's so sad. He was only one day from retirement.
Possibly. Yeah, so I make my way to the roof. I don't immediately burst on. I try and like peek my way to like see if I can see them.
Yeah, so sort of peeking your head through the trap door into the roof, you can very clearly see this just mass of shadows that is this individual that you now know is probably a La Sombra elder of some kind, or at least up there.
Okay. How is this opening? Is this like a little like roof hatch? Is this like stairs up to a hatch or a door?
So it's like stairs that go up to a hatch and then the hatch. So you,
okay,
like you
so
can walk.
I'm peeking kind of through the hatch right now.
Yeah.
They're just a mass of shadows.
As far like it is a human shaped mass of shadows. It looks like they are a human that is covered in them.
Can I tell by the direction of the feet where how they're facing?
They're definitely looking down at that battle where the sheriff is.
Okay.
I'll say that they're facing away from you.
Good enough. I'm going to chuck the lantern at them if I can, and then like after that, if I can, run and like jump, attack them off the roof. Just if we both go flying, we both go flying. But towards the sheriff.
Okay.
So can I do both of those things or one at a time?
So remind me, Kevin, I don't think La Sombra had the light issue, right? That's
No, that's no, it
ministry.
doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, they
It's
don't
it's
catch.
a lantern, so like
reflections.
vampire fire
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. So first, I'll say. Actually, yeah, no, it is a lit lantern. Go ahead and just roll like athletics and strength.
Okay. Ooh. What?
You can do a rouse check to add 2 to your roll if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. All right, come on, don't. 3 hunger, but that gets me up to 4. But that's 3 of those. One of those. You guys stay over there. All right, here we go. No.
Remember, you could spend willpower
Yeah, but
to
it's not
reroll
hunger.
non-hunger dice.
I don't think I can do much better than that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, especially since 3 of the 4 were hunger die. 2 regular successes, 1 on the non, 1 on hungry, and 2 of the skulls on the hungry.
So, bright side, they rolled shit and they're distracted. They only have a 1. So you succeed. This person is immediately hit by this lantern and flames start licking up their back. I will say, go ahead and roll for your attack. This would be probably like, if you're just tackling them, would be brawl and strength.
Okay.
I'll say they are distracted, so your difficulty is going to be 1 lower because they are currently on fire. But
can I spend another?
You sure can.
I'm gonna try and. Motherfucker.
So what hunger are you at right now?
4.
Okay.
So, but that is. It's 4 hunger die and a regular.
Ooh. Been there, bud. Been there.
2 successes, both on the hunger, the hunger die. 1 regular success and 1 10. But 2 successes on the hunger.
Okay. So how many successes total?
2 total.
Okay. Do you want to stay on the roof?
Preferably, but if
Okay.
I don't have enough successes and I just tackle them off the roof and I go
I will
with them,
say
that's
you
fine.
are able to stay on the roof if you would like. And
let's say I push them and don't catch myself and I'm hanging off the roof or something.
okay, yeah. So you immediately run up, shove them, you slip and start to slide and catch on to a couple to like one of the I don't know what it's called, the like overhang over one of the windows, as there is a Wilhelm scream, ah! As this individual lands, hits the roof a couple of times, bouncing, and lands onto the ground amid the wreckage of this battle.
Hope you enjoyed the fucking party. Asshole.
Yeah, they're not moving.
What happened to the shadows?
As so the shadows went with him mostly. It's the strangest thing. It's almost like for a half second you fear, oh fuck, dawn is here, because the darkness recedes very quickly, and then you realize that it is all of the tendrils from the other side of the house following him off of the roof and congealing around him. And wading into this darkness is the sheriff, who just goes hacking through them before driving his sword into the back of this creature. And the shadows dissipate, almost like smoke. And this figure on the ground is left in a husk of dust, There are still some of those monsters around, although seeing the shadows fade and seeing that the sheriff turn to them having just killed their bishop, they immediately start to scatter. And he sort of looks up to you. Are you good?
Help! Send someone up here. Oh,
Looks
please.
around. There are not many people around.
Yeah. Fuck it. I try and pull myself up the best I can.
Go for it. He does bark a demand at somebody, and you do see two people run in. But go ahead and just roll a athletics and strength check for me.
1 success.
Okay.
On 100 die, if that matters.
You're sort of struggling. You're holding on. Thankfully, this roof is not that steep, and these shingles of a good amount of texture to them, so you can get a bit of a foothold. And a few moments later, one of the guests comes peering up and around the roof and reaches out to sort of drag you up and back onto the roof proper.
Oh, thank you.
They're like,
that was spooky.
what the hell was that?
Unwanted guests.
No shit. And a moment or two later, the sheriff joins you on the roof looking out. The prince made it out?
Prince made it out. They went that way. I believe I did see Phoebe, Sedgewick, and what was Simeon? You know
Yeah.
Simeon
Reese.
The Nosferatu. Those two were for sure there with them, along with a few other guests.
Very well.
So,
I trust that she'll find a place. Do you have somewhere safe to rest for the evening, or
don't mind me. I'll take care of myself, and I need to check on my people. You should. I'm not telling you what to do. You're the sheriff, but maybe collect with the prince or make sure my house is clear.
well,
Prince
considering they've slain the horses, I think we'll have to catch up with her on the next eve.
Okay. Unfortunate. But I believe I do.
If I know her, she'll head back to the city. She'll head to her haven.
Okay, good. Ben, we'll catch up with her in the morrow. Tonight, whoever is still alive probably should go towards the cellar. I have some emergency cots and whatnot, away from the windows and whatnot.
Fabulous.
Suggestion.
We can shore up the doors.
Yes. Suggestions for the guests that are now messes.
The unwanted ones or the wanted ones?
Just what should leave them out to ash just to keep it somewhat cleaner, or bring the ones we want in and for proper burial? What you want?
I personally have no compunctions of leaving them to ash. It's your abode, but some of them may be in torpor rather than truly gone. I believe there was a Bruja among the fight that fell. He was relatively fearsome warrior. I didn't catch his name. Curly hair. But
as a good host, do I recognize this person?
You know that he is a. I'll say you recognize he is one of the ones that was dancing with Marina. He is a bit of a rabble rouser from London. and a Bruja that's known for being quite tough. So chances are he is probably alive, but in torpor.
Possibly Ambrose, but yes, good lad.
He says,
I guess
I
we
can
should-
start dragging in any who haven't already gone to Ash, and we can sort it out once
Yes,
we're
that's-
in safety.
Let's possibly make this quick because I'm not sure when sun rises.
You know that it's getting pretty close.
Let's do our best to rescue the ones that are just asleep.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, regrettably, let sunrise take the rest of them.
So I will say that you guys make your way into the cellar, hole up for the evening. You are able to save quite a few. There are a lot that did not make it. And looking over it, you can see that it looks like the barn was probably the first place they hit. It looks like they tried to take out the means of getting out before
sense.
anybody noticed.
Yep.
And with that, you find your way to rest. I mean, who knows? It's not like he has a
Coincidence.
distinctive silhouette. It could have been anybody.
Yeah.
He's from the Ministry of Silly Walks. I think I'd recognize someone walking like this through bushes.
Unfortunate, but true.
I don't care. Go fuck with the bushes right now.
And the sheriff sort of looks to you that evening before you take your rest and says, if she makes it to the next town, I'll be sure to let the prince know how helpful you were.
That would be appreciative. I did have a request, but unfortunately, we had other things going on. So maybe that will slide things in my favor potentially. But either way, I would appreciate it.
And I will say, unfortunately, either that night or the next morning, you probably do find Greg.
Oh, you poor bastard. I will mourn you.
And the rest of you either make it to your destination, wherever Adelaide would take her new bow and the boa constrictor in the
Yeah. When the carrot stops, I just get off and in normal form and like, thanks for the ride.
Who are you?
Kemal, we met at the party.
No.
I thought you played the violin.
I want this man dead so much.
Oh, no.
Ah.
We did not meet at all. This is the first time this entire night we have met.
Oh. Well, apologies. I have trouble telling people apart sometimes.
That's fine.
Yes. All you English look alike.
She wasn't even English.
Good day.
where would Marina and Regency head?
Whoever's house is closest.
We've got the Primogen. Maybe we could go spend the evening or day sleep at her, presumably ritzy location.
Actually, yeah, she would direct you to her manor.
Okay, great.
I hope you can drive. I can make the horse go forward. They'll know what they're doing after that. It's probably not complicated. Anyone
It's
can do it, I'm
probably
sure.
not that hard.
Yeah.
It's only 3 directions. Left
Forward,
and right.
left,
and forward.
right.
Yeah.
You got it. Listen, between the two of us, we can figure this out. We got this.
Yeah, you take right, I'll take left.
Exactly. There you go.
And,
we spent over at her house.
and Phoebe and the prince and Simeon, Reeves, and Nosferatu make their way to one of the prince's nearby havens, where she does graciously invite all of you in, considering you guys are the reason she made it out.
Phoebe makes mental note. Perhaps I can complete my task. I'm closer than I thought to my target.
And I think that we'll end there with the groups of you split up over the countryside, but alive against all odds. Some of you having achieved your goals, some of you not.
Some of us in process.
Some
Raise
of
your
you
hand
very
who-
close.
Raise your hand. Who succeeded? Fuckers.
I'm really curious what some of you are because y'all seem to be just save somebody who just happened to be in danger. We should go over it afterwards.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know whether that would be more fun to do on stream or not. So what do you guys think? If you want to reveal it or...
Yeah.
I say
I'll
let 'em-
reveal it.
Oh, okay.
I had to get an audience with a Toyota elder, and she kept being around people. So fucking bitch. But sleeping with her, you know, I think that counts.
Yeah, I'd
saved her.
say.
What?
You saved her. That's like she owes you big now.
Mm. Not the only thing we did that night.
Jeanette, do you want to say yours?
So I needed to find a way to forge some documents that would blackmail the prince, and I was trying to figure out going along what might work. But now I'm in one of the prince's, personal havens.
Yeah.
So I'm in process. I didn't get there, but we'll see. Things got in the way.
Yeah.
Some stuff happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I'm closer than I could be because now I've saved the prince's life in a sense.
Anybody else want to reveal theirs?
Mine was to kill a kindred elder. And it became clear right away that Pembroke had lots of enemies and just generally sucked. So I followed him and waited until
There you go.
fortune favored the person who follows. And barely succeeded and then lived. Barely.
Anybody else?
Mine was run away with another kindred school without being spotted. Which I did.
I spotted you.
No.
No. No, you didn't. You saw nothing. You're a snake. Fuck you.
You're a stinky poo-poo man. I don't like you.
But you in character declared that you don't remember people very well, so you didn't see anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true. As far as you know, you saw Marina run off with that group.
As far as I know, Marina and Greg are running off together.
Bitch! You ate Greg!
Oh my
Wait, that was
god.
Greg?
Edward, what was yours?
Mine was, and jury's still out, but impress the prince so you can get permission to sire. We'll see.
Greg, no!
Greg.
We'll see.
I will say that you will have succeeded after this. Although
Damn
Greg
it.
is
You
still
don't
out
have
for the
anybody to
world.
sire
Now
now!
it's not worth it.
You'll find
I don't
another
know.
Greg.
Maybe Clarence wants.
Oh.
Kev, do you want to share yours?
Mine was to retrieve a stolen artifact from the safe.
Where'd
Mine
you
was,
steal that from?
I don't know, somebody stole it from, I honestly, I thought it was going to be more of a trouble, but I did it pretty well. I was like, wow.
Yeah, you really got
Well,
in there and then
the-
got out.
The fate lucked you, I guess, because
Yeah.
I flipped the coin and.
You're also very trusting.
I was trying to be a good host.
No, No, yeah, it's fair.
It's important.
You were a great
Um,
host. I got what I came to retrieve.
And a snack.
Technically, I didn't drink any of his blood.
But this was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely like, since there's a body left, it's like, that's weird. What the fuck are these things on the side of his neck? Hey,
Like,
Sheriff.
you don't know.
Hey, Sheriff. Could you take a look at this? And not that we'd find him.
Yeah, so the thing is though, like what he did, it just looks like a wild, like a big ass snake ripped a chunk out of his throat because he used the feral weapons. It's could be a monster, could be a vampire, could be a giant wild animal.
You'll never know.
I'll never know. But I'll have a guess because there was only one person who saw him last for sure.
Yeah, there
And I
was one
didn't s-
person that saw him last.
And I didn't see him leave.
It was the Fitzwilliams person. I saw them come up after I left. They were very shady.
Don't shut up. You're not even here.
Yeah, but this is a ton of fun. I am so glad. Oh, real quick, did we want to go around and say what everybody's clan was, or do you want to keep that a secret?
I can say.
I was gonna name myself Regency Giovanni because, but then I realized that's not a good idea. But that's why it's called Reggie, because it's Red G, because they have the letter G as their symbol.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my god.
I was Katif.
I was a Tremere.
I was a Ravenous.
Oh.
I was a Malkavian.
Yeah, and started fucking shit about me. What the fuck? yo, goddamn shit.
No idea what Kevin was.
Yeah, no clue.
No clue whatsoever.
None.
But you know, for giggles,
Is it
tell the
Gangle?
audience. Go ahead, tell the audience.
Well, in
No.
B5, they're now known as the Ministry, but they're also known as the followers of Set, which at this time would be the name they'd used.
For those wondering, that's the big ass clan symbol behind his head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
it's
thought that was
kind
an
of
anteater.
Yeah,
He's
That-
part of the Arthur clan.
that is a symbol
the
of
Set-
Set.
Shouldn't the symbol be something more like?
Shouldn't be the symbol like a big thing of lettuce with some white stuff on it?
Oh, mythology. So good.
Look into Egyptian mythology, kids, because it's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
now I get it.
Yeah. So
But this-
a little joke for my Blood and Stone pals.
This was great. I'm very excited. It was a ton of fun, and I'm excited to see what happens in next to Baltimore by night. When we pick up on the chaos that was left over. And now at least us as players know a tiny bit more about Elizabeth of Cullenberg and her history. So I hope everybody had a bloody good time.
Hey.
She said that thing.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.